Oh, apologies for a slightly mistimed start, boys and girls. My microphone button wasn't working. We should be good now, though. If you can't hear me, that's why. Microphone button. What can I do without a microphone button? Exactly. Hello, folks. Welcome to the pre-stream stream. This is where the cool kids hang. And we're just going to chat for a few minutes until the stream starts. Let's put my crown back on. We streamed with a crown last night. And by golly, we'll stream with a crown again. We're not going to stream with a crown. We'll keep the crown off. How are we doing? Is everybody good? What's going on down in the chat? Let's have a little look. Posture check already? My word, we've not even started. There you go. Posture check. Done. Scotty's saying, can't believe how posh Azzopardi is. Yeah, if you didn't come with us on the raid to Dave Azzopardi last night, we discovered he's not a tinner. Not only is he not a tinner, he doesn't know what Frey Bentos is, but he does own a panini maker. And I get called the richest man in the FM community. Hydrate already? See, this is tricky because I've got a brand new full cup of coffee and it's a little bit full. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you very much. Hey, Kev, love your content. Thank you very much. Wearing a crown is not the best look after the interview. Yeah, that's why I took it off quickly. But, you know, I'm still the king of Football Manager. It's not my fault the rest of the royal family seem like a bunch of wangs. At least I'm still the king. No politics! We'll have no politics here. How's my day been? It's been all right. Busy as ever. Finished recording Non-League to Legend today, so very busy. Just need to edit the last couple of episodes together and finish the 5 years in the future bit. And then I need to make a decision whether or not I'm going to have Born in the USA ready for Monday or whether I need to record something in between and push it back to next Monday. It's touch and go at the moment, whether or not what I'm going to do next week. I'm just not sure. I could probably get Born ready for Monday, but I might not. But if I don't, I need something else to fill the week because busy, always busy. I love being busy. Busy is fun. Can I suggest we don't talk about Piers Morgan, Meghan Markle? Yeah, we'll just have a new rule. Hold on, I'm going to type the new rule in the chat. New rule. No wangs. That way we don't have to talk about Piers Morgan ever. That needs adding to the official chat rules. No wangs, and then we're good. I think that covers everything. No politics, no religion, no wangs. There's our new. We now have 3 rules. Right, shall we play some Football Manager? I love the fact we've now got our exclamation mark wang. Wang. What a great word wang is. It's one of my favourites. Right, shall we? I know we're like 30 seconds early. We're gonna jump into some Football Manager anyway because I'm eager to see if my new signings work out any good. If you weren't in the stream last night, you might have missed us signing good players. Scott Robertson was released by Watford, and we signed him. Josh McPake released by Rangers. No, Watford. He's released by Watford, and we signed him. And Terrell Whitaker released by Solihull Moors because he got an injury, and we've signed him. The 3 of them have come in. They can't be registered until the 1st of January. We've got one more game to play without them, and then we can find out if the 3 of them are any good. I think they're going to be 3 big upgrades on key players in our team. This is how the season so far has been going. This is season 7 of the Save, our 2nd season in Scotland. We won the Scottish 3rd tier last season. This is our 1st season in the 2nd tier, and as you can see, we are hovering just outside the playoffs at about the halfway point of the season. The one-armed Swan scoring plenty of goals as well, which is nice. And hopefully, with the new boys coming in, and now we're starting to find a little bit of form. We won 5-0 at the end of last night's stream. Fingers crossed we can push on and get into those playoffs in the second half of the season, because that would be lovely, lovely, lovely. The Posh match has just kicked off. We play far too often midweek. Keep me up to date with the score in the Posh match, folks. I'm going to be monitoring who's quicker. My watch giving me updates or you lot giving me updates. Because I'm not paying £10 for iFollow when I can't sit and watch it. Plus, if I tried to stream on iFollow whilst also streaming on Twitch with my terrible internet that I've got at the moment, we ain't going to have a very successful stream. So keep me up to date with what's going on in the posh match. Fingers crossed, victory will be ours. And as you can see, I mean, I don't know, can you tell I've taken the graphics settings down on the game after the discussion in today's home episode? I've taken it, I've not even taken it down. Rue, thank you very much for the sub. The one-armed swan broke his arm. That's how he got his name. Simple. What is that? Beagles. Beagles is in with the 1,000 bits, which apparently makes a funny noise. But yeah, all I did with the graphics is went onto the graphics panel thing in settings and just told it to pick recommended for my PC, which took, I think, one of the settings down from high to medium, and that was it. I think it looks a little bit different, but that might not. I'm watching on a 4K monitor. You're watching on a 1080p stream. So it might not look any different, but what you should notice is compared to how jerky the game was in the home episode today, it's running really nice and smooth now, which is lovely stuff. No Wang talk. Does that mean we can't talk about the comedian Phil Wang? Never heard of him. I guess you can talk. He might be the Wangception, as in the Wang exception, not our Wang inception. That's a different thing. We don't want Wangception here either. Peterborough should be winning already. Agreed. That explains the one-armed portion at least. Yeah, next month when you subscribe again, I'll explain the second half. If he's still playing for us. The second half is pretty self-explanatory. Someone's got me a PC build to look at. Interesting. I don't know if I need one now I've adjusted the settings. How does it look? It doesn't look bad, does it? I think it looks fine. What's my in-game camera settings? I use TV, height about there, or sometimes I'll bring it down even further. I kind of play with the height and then just zoom all the way in. Usually depends on how big the ground is. I'll adjust the height accordingly. I think this is quite a nice height for this level. Kev's taking on ICT again, and we've just gone 1-0 up. Beautiful stuff. Somerset Fruitcake, you just cost me a month sub. He was going to have to sub again next month to find out that little snippet of information. You've ruined me. Looks like FM to me. Then that means job done. I actually think with the graphics settings turned down a little bit, it actually ends up looking a little bit better. I'm quite impressed by it. Unsubscribes now. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it. You owe me money. You've had free information on the internet. I won't stand for it. I won't have anybody finding things out for free. This is a business I'm running here. You wouldn't walk into my cafe and start offering my fruitcake out to people, would you? Exactly. Oh, leave my fruitcake alone. How's my day been? It was great, but then I went to have a piece of fruitcake and it was all gone. So that ruined it a little bit. But other than that, it's been a good day. A busy day, but a good day. It was made all the better because I've not had a commute for like 3 or 4 years. As you know, I work from home, sitting in my little darkened room, making video game videos. So I haven't had a commute for like 4 years now, but ever since we've lived here and Anna's had her job, I've been driving her to work every day because during lockdown, she can't carry on her driving lessons. So what was supposed to be a short-term thing while we waited for her test has been 6 months and counting. But I drive her to work every day. And today was the first morning where we were up at like 6:30 having breakfast and the sun was already up and we got in the car and the sun was already up. Didn't need a coat. The sun was shining. Just it being light in the morning on the way to take her to work is brilliant. What a game changer that is. It sets you properly up for the day. I know the clocks are going to change in a week or two and that will ruin it all. But for now, it feels like we're in the height of summer just because it's sunny in the morning. It's beautiful. Oh, what a wonderful thing. More of that, please. More sunshine. I have to have mine low as computers poop, but it's watchable. Fair enough. Well, it was related to that weird thing people used to say that a swan can break your arm. I mean, a swan can break his own arm. We've got evidence of that earlier on in this series. I always turn shadows down on my PC in any game. I can't tell the difference in visual quality. I can always tell the system impact. Interesting. Well, I mean, it seems to be running fine just doing the preset settings. I'll show you what the settings are in a second so you can see if there's any way for us to squeeze a bit. I mean, we could potentially bump some of the graphics up and bump shadows down if that makes a difference, but I think everything's pretty much on the same level now, and it seems to be running okay. So if we just jump into settings briefly, preferences as it's now known. Where are we? What? I can't remember what setting you go into. Where is... I only did this afternoon. Am I in the right area? I feel like I'm not looking at the right thing. Match. Oh, there you go. Match. It's in here. So... yeah, I went and did recommended for this PC, and it's given me this. So high render quality. So I've got 5-star 3D graphics capability, apparently. But we've gone high render quality, high mesh detail, high shadow quality, high texture quality, medium anti-aliasing, and high crowd quality. So, oh, hold on. We've got a posture check and a hydration needed. 1-0 posh already. That's not even come through to my watch yet. That is impressive work. So, I don't know. It seems to be running okay. But it just doesn't look quite as shiny and polished. I had everything on very high before. But no one's complaining. So we'll just leave it as that, I guess. Reese Brown with a goal. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, we've got players who need resting. We're going up as bleeping champions, as they say. As I'd be saying if it wasn't for COVID and me not being able to be there. Because you can guarantee, based on the season we're having, because I'm a glory-chasing monster, I would absolutely have bought a half-season ticket at Christmas based on how the season's gone. So I would be there. So you wouldn't be getting a stream. Thank COVID for the fact you've got a stream tonight, boys and girls. There you go. It's just come through to my watch now. Still haven't got goal scorer confirmation to my watch, but I have just got the goal. My Predator has 5-star as well. I turn the details to very high and the shadows to medium. Should we try the next match on those settings then and see what difference it makes? So, what, we put everything else to very high, but then shadows down to medium. So some of it doesn't have a very high setting. We can try that. Scotty, thank you for the sub. What do you think of UEFA wanting to ban 100 million transfer and transfers between big and then I'm not sure what that means. Right, that's an alien screen. I've never seen you use, Kev, becoming a button clicker. I'm just fiddling with the graphics settings. We'll leave it there. It's because I wouldn't be doing it if the game hadn't been getting so jerky. So we'll try it like that. A preference plucker. I like it. And if it goes back to being jerky, we'll go back to recommended settings again. I made Ricky J. Jones Exeter's record signing after getting to the Premier League. Boys, he is rapid. He's a very fast boy. What do I think about the new YouTube tax stuff? I mean, I don't know enough about it to be able to comment properly. My initial thoughts, certainly in the Football Manager space. Let's engage full wang mode. In the Football Manager space. So few of our views come from the US that it's not going to have a massive impact on Football Manager creators. I had a look, 8% of my audience, 8% of my views in the last year have been from the US. So if we run some fairly rudimentary numbers based on worst case scenarios, let's say I earn $100,000 a year in YouTube ad revenue, which I don't, but if I had a really good year, I could, maybe one day. Let's say I'm doing 100,000 just because the numbers are then easier for me to work out. You can scale it all back accordingly. But if I made $100,000 in ad revenue, based on only 8% of that revenue coming from the US, and then the potential top rate tax band of 30%, assuming I did nothing, you're looking at most a couple of $100 a month. Which if you're earning $100,000 a year, an extra couple of $100 a month in outgoings. You probably won't even notice unless you're really anal about it all. And YouTube revenue so up and down anyway, you can't be that anal about it. So in reality, there's nobody making Football Manager content who's even going to notice, I don't think. So yeah, it doesn't really make a difference. Obviously, some of the bigger creators, like some of the commentary channels and stuff like that, have potentially got a big problem where they get a huge amount of their audiences in the US. And I was talking to someone about it on Twitter earlier. If I got like 70-80% of my views from the US, I'd be seriously considering moving to the US now to mitigate the tax problems. But yeah, bottom line, I don't think it's going to affect me massively. I need to read more on what the UK-US tax treaty is, because there might be a way to offset some of it anyway. Because the theory is you shouldn't be taxed twice on the same income. So if I'm paying 30% tax on US royalties, theoretically I shouldn't then be taxed again on that income here. But I don't quite know how the offsetting works, or if there is any offsetting, or if there's limits to the offsetting. So I think it's another one of those really interesting conversations with an accountant. And we'll see how it goes. Just as you're about to start a new save in the US. Yeah, I know. Just as I'm planning my American expansion. All your American viewers should get a good VPN, something like Nord. I mean, that's a very good point. If my US viewers, and this applies to any of your non-US based content creators, if you want to really help out your non-US content creators, watch their videos using a VPN showing you as being outside of the US, because then you count as a non-US view, and non-US views aren't taxed. It's only the views from within the US. So if you change your location to, I don't know, Scotland, you're then going to be a tax-free view for creators outside of the US. So that's a thing. I honestly, for Football Manager stuff, I probably wouldn't bother going to those kind of extremes, because it's going to affect us in such a small way. But if you do watch any channels that are non-US based but have a massive US audience, you might want to use a VPN to wriggle around the system and help support them a little bit. And if you want to do that, NordVPN is the one for you, because it's great. And there's a sale on at the moment, which some of you have already linked to in the chat, which is really cool. I think it's quite ironic given the fact they started a revolution over taxation without representation. I mean, it's not as if it's a new rule. I was talking about this on Twitter. It's not new. Twitch do it already. It's already a thing here on Twitch. It has been for as long as I've been on Twitch. It's been a thing for my book royalties for as long. I mean, I wrote my first book in 2014 and had to fill in US tax forms with Amazon as part of that. So it's really just Google being really, really late to the party, and Amazon were kind of leading the way on not breaking the law, which again is ironic. Amazon being trendsetters in following taxation law doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but they really were. They were well ahead. So it's just Google finally being made to comply with a law that's been there forever. It's odd. Right, we've got our new boys making debuts today. So McPake comes in to play as our attacking midfielder. I'm expecting great things from him. We've got Terrell Whitaker in yet another save coming in on the left-hand side. Where's my other new boy? Who was my other new? I can't remember who was the other new one? Why can't I find him? Robertson. Why isn't he involved in this? Because we've got much better midfielders than him. We'll wait for him then, because we've got these two boys in there who are better than he is. That's fair enough. But Terrell Whitaker, I want magic from Terrell Whitaker, because I feel like he's been a little bit hard done by, especially in the home series, where we turned him into a midfielder. But we've given him the number 9 shirt, and now we are going to play him out on the wing again, because that's all I ever do with Terrell Whitaker. Let's face it, he's not getting ahead of the one-armed swan. I found out today that Farage has jumped on the world of Cameo. Nice. What's the best way to get to you with an official interview request for a phone down the Archives of FM article I'm working on? Discord. Yeah, I guess Discord. The link to my Discord is around somewhere, or the email address that's in all of my bios. that will get through to my management, and they'll make sure they're probably better to contact. They're probably easier to contact than I am, because they actually follow through and reply on stuff and remind me when I forget. So you're probably better going through the email address that's in my Twitter bio, my Instagram bio. That will then get through to my management, and they'll handle it from there and actually make sure time gets put aside for it. Because I'm awful. I am awful. Yeah, American YouTubers are unaffected. It's just for getting back to the tax thing. It's for creators outside of the US who are getting views in the US. They're now going to be taxed on the revenue generated within the US. US YouTubers will just continue to pay their own tax the way they always have. They're not going to get taxed at source. As Cav said, there's a double taxation agreement, so income can be taxed in the US and then you need to claim relief via UK taxes. Yeah, that's the bit that I know it exists, but I don't know the details of. I've been told about it before, but because my book royalties are so low and so few of my book sales are in the US, I mean, we're literally talking maybe $50 a year in book royalties coming from the US. I just never looked into it. It was all taxed in the US as part of it, but I just never bothered looking into it because it felt like for the money that I would save by doing it, it would cost more to actually look into it. But now with it potentially being a thing that could cost $1,000 or $2,000 over the course of the year, I probably do need to look into how to offset the tax that's paid there, but I don't know how that works. I don't know how it's done, and I don't know what rates and stuff and how the offsetting works. So I need to talk to an accountant about it and figure out exactly what you do. Who do I think will go up along with Peterborough? I promised Tom FM it would be Lincoln, so I guess it has to be Lincoln. And then the playoffs is anybody's game as ever. The playoffs will probably be someone not even in the playoffs now. Playoffs usually just comes from nowhere. I hate how you and Goldbridge stream at the same time as I want to watch both. I keep hearing this name Goldbridge everywhere. No idea who this guy is. I keep hearing his name mentioned. Who the hell is Goldbridge? Never heard of him. Well, that's actually not true. As previously stated, I have heard of him. I just don't know what he is. Don't know what he's for. What is a Goldbridge? Probably not what I'm picturing every time I hear his name. I assume he's a lovely man. Or woman. I guess he could be a woman. Is he a woman? Need clarification, really. Sunderland presumably lose the playoffs for the sake of Netflix views. Yeah, I would have thought so. I used to work for the tax office. Double taxation has always been a nightmare. Yeah, exactly. That's part of me does wonder if it's even worth pursuing for how little it's going to be for someone like me. Because, yeah. There's a whole extra layer of complication as well, because that taxation is going to be in a dollar amount, and I have my stuff because of the way my income passes through various people before it reaches me. I only get paid in sterling. I don't have to deal with income in multiple currencies. So if all my income is in sterling, but I'm paying US tax in US dollars, but never actually seeing any US dollars, it's going to open up a whole world of complication, and I might just go, you know what? I'll just pay it. What do I think of the new Champions League look proposed by what's-his-face from Juventus? I only heard briefly about it on the news on the way home with Anna, saying something about it being, is it 10 matches in the group stage and a few extra teams or something? 5-team groups or something. I wasn't really following exactly what the changes are. It just seems like another step towards the European Super League, so my default position is opposed, unless someone can give me a reason why I shouldn't oppose it, which I don't think you'll be able to. Mark Goldbridge, he's Man United YouTuber. We thought he was a referee when we mentioned him another time. Seems about right. I mean, that explains why I wouldn't know who he is if he's a Man United YouTuber. I would have no reason to watch such a thing. Who's going up from the Championship? I haven't even looked at the Championship table, so I have no idea. Hopefully Brentford, because then we'll get a big pile of cash. How are Brentford doing? Ivan Toney needs to be playing in the Premier League next year, one way or the other, because both options for him getting there will involve a big payday for Posh. So Brentford either need to get promoted or sell Toney for big money. It's 1-1 in the Posh game. Boo. Brentford a second. Awesome. I'm watching this series on YouTube and off work for 2 weeks, so I can watch live. Love the series. You're the second best FM streamer behind Chesnoid. I mean, that's possibly the most insulting thing anyone's ever said to me. Second best behind Chesnoid. I mean, that's a statement for someone who's only ever seen 2 FM streamers right there. And I'm bottom of his list. Hideous. Thank you, though. Welcome to the stream. UEFA don't want a Super League, so this is their plan to make the top clubs slightly happier. Ugh, still seems stupid. If you had the money, would I buy Posh? Probably not. I mean, how am I like money too much to waste it on a football club. I mean, if I had absolutely stupendous amounts of wealth, like so much money that even if I just started a money fire in my garden and spent all day, every day for the rest of my life, just throwing money onto the money fire and would still die a billionaire, if I had that kind of money, then I might buy Posh. But realistically, I'm unlikely to ever have that kind of money in my life. So, even if I managed to work really hard and get a bit of luck and be super successful and end up with £20 million in the bank by the time I retire, that's not enough to run a football club. That'd be gone in 2 years running a football club. So yeah, I have no interest in that. Or you're a multi-millionaire. I'm a Japanese millionaire. It's a different thing. I'm one of those Japanese millionaires who used to take over football clubs in Championship Manager. We used to all get really excited when a Japanese millionaire turned up. I am that Japanese millionaire. You too are a Japanese millionaire. As long as you've got at least £6,000 to your name. I think it's about £6,000. As long as you've got about £6,000 to your name, you're a Japanese millionaire. Yeah, if I had Jeff Bezos money, I might buy Posh. But at that point, I can't imagine I would care about anything. I think I'd be pretty miserable with that amount of money, because what's the point of anything then? Elon Musk's got the right idea. He's got crazy money and just does crazy things with it just to give himself something to do so he can feel something. I can't imagine being Jeff Bezos or Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or someone like that who's got stupendous amounts of money and just doesn't really do anything. I was in Vietnam and changed 800 euros, got 11.5 million dong. 11.5 million dong, huzzah. Giving to charity is all well and good and highly commended and all that kind of stuff, but you know, there's no achievement in doing that, I don't think. It's just, I like to win at stuff. I like to compete. For me, it's all about the journey, not the destination. I wouldn't want to be the richest man in the world, because then what am I getting up for the next day? So, yeah. You know what I wouldn't buy if I was a billionaire? A helicopter. Must be the biggest killer of billionaires ever. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weighted towards them because they tend to use them far more. I guess if only people called Kev rode motorbikes, you'd probably say, cool, if I was called Kev, I wouldn't buy a motorbike. The amount of Kevs who die on motorbikes. So I don't think you get a lot of non-billionaires traveling around in helicopters very often. All I know, based purely on playing Grand Theft Auto, is I'm pretty good at flying helicopters, can land them on top of buildings. I once managed to land a helicopter on top of a skyscraper and get out of it just as the helicopter fell off the skyscraper, thus stranding myself on top of said skyscraper. That was good Grand Theft Autoing. So I'm all right in helicopters. Dun, 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 Guitar to you too, Beagles. Guitar to you too. We just conceded a penalty. This will never do. Whose idea was it for us to concede a penalty? I don't approve of it. I am opposed to this turn of events. We're playing against Path, apparently. Clyde versus Path. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to see your pesky penalty replay. Pesky penalty replay. That's pop, pop, pop. Who can't spell Callum properly? Is he a 1L weirdo? Is that what he is? Oh my word. It's even worse than the 1L Callums. When his name was being registered, they've lent on the keyboard there. How'd you accidentally put an N at the end of it? Right, here you go. We get a look at Scott Robertson now. I think what I'll actually do is stick him in there, because that's what we signed him to do. And then for my last trick, Andy Reid, the little fat moron, can come on. Tomlinson was going to play Doncaster Rovers, but then backed out because they didn't meet eye to eye on how to run the club. What did he want to play? Telling me you didn't have a parachute to jump off the skyscraper. No, we had to get someone else to come and rescue me. It was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. There was me, there was two of us in the helicopter, and I was flying it, crash landed it on top of a skyscraper. We both jumped out, but then we're both stranded on top of the helicopter, so a third person we were playing with had to fly over from the other side of the map to come and pick us up. That was an evening. Oh, here you go. First look at Robertson. He slots it through to the one-armed Swan, who applies a beautiful finish. We're going to win the league. I've decided we're winning the league. Probably wanted to do a concert every half time. Does he still do concerts? I thought there was only one Directioner who still did anything like that. I didn't realise it was that one. I thought most of them had given up and got real jobs now, working in Lidl and stuff. What do I know? Knocking up girls aloud. Isn't that what One Direction do these days? Dave just leapt up at the window. I'm like, what? Scared me, Dave. Goodness me. Don't clip that, because I imagine it was me going, horrified. Kev should start an FM boy band. I would love an FM boy band. Who would be in it, though? A man band. No, it would be a boy band. We're not old. If Take That is still a boy band, then I'm young enough to be in a boy band. They all still do solo music. I find that very hard to believe. That was a strange place to join the stream. Did you come in just as I went? That one player's here, and now I'm alarmed. Dave, what's the matter? Dave's just hovering around the window. Kevin Chapman and the Gagan Pressers. That's what we should call ourselves. I'd like that. Benji in Zealand. Oh, dear. Surely Scott Robinson needs a name change to Neighbours. I mean, I don't know enough about Neighbours to know if there was a guy called Scott Robinson in it. So I'm afraid. I mean, I don't watch soaps. I know nothing about Neighbours. Looks like we're terminating alone. Richard Donald Robertson is leaving. Very sad, but we don't need him anymore. It'll be Kev, Zealand, Ben, Jack, and Fox. No, we've got to have Tom in there. Tom's the only one with a six-pack. We've got to have Tomatham in there. Jason Donovan's character. I mean, Jason Donovan was in Neighbours in the 80s, wasn't he? You realise I'm not that old. Dave has a party. He definitely belongs in a boy band. I mean, does he though? The boy doesn't know what a Fray Bentos pie is. I think Tom ruled himself out in the last showdown. No, Tom's a talented musician. I'm just going to be there for the bumming. That's all I'm going to do. We'll have Tom playing guitar. Ben can play harmonica. I'll be there bumming away. I hope Zealand can sing or we've got a problem. Dun, dun, dun. Are you a singer or an instruments guy? I'm, yeah, I can do it all. I'm multi-talented. Let's join the stream. You should be there for the bumming. What is going on? We're forming a boy band. And as my entire musical contribution seems to be just me going bum, 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 talking along to songs that are on, I'll do the bumming. Tom can be on guitar, Ben on harmonica. I'll do the bumming. It'll be fine. He's going to be like Flavor Flav standing in the back. I don't know what Flavor Flav is. That is a comment well outside my frame of reference. I'd be in the back with a triangle. Maybe we should try and get to Christmas #1. Perhaps that's what we should spin the Streamer Showdown off into. Do a charity Christmas #1 single. I should probably run this past Ben before telling you we're doing it, but we're definitely going to do it. Let's raise some money for charity. If Lad Baby can get to Christmas #1, is it 2 years in a row he got to Christmas #1 singing about sausage rolls? The FM boy band can get to Christmas #1, surely. Stream's been live for 40 minutes. We've had wangs, dongs, and now bumming. Welcome to LOLLUJO, or twitch.tv/LOLLUJO is probably what I should say. And we're playing against some team called Celtic. They seem to think they're quite a big deal. Shall we see how good we are? How good are they, do we think? They're quite good. They always win the league, apparently. So they're probably going to beat us, but you never know. Are we disappointed if you don't do a Christmas single now? I mean, I'm putting it out there. I'm in. So if we don't end up doing it, blame them lot for not doing their bit. I've had the idea. I've suggested it. I'm in. I'm available. We've just got to wait and see now. If we don't do it, it's their fault. Got 10,000 on me to win. That seems like a mistake. Christmas FM calendar, boys. What, are we all going to be shirtless? Picture you all in white suits like the Backstreet. I've already got a white tuxedo. This is all going brilliantly. What song? Yeah, turn this ship around, obviously. New show, non-league to non-league to chart legend. I like it. I've got 7,000 on a Kev win. That is ambitious. You know we're playing Celtic, right? I'm just going to shut this window. Oh. I think I know what's up with Dave. There's people out there. We've just had neighbours move in next door. And I feel like passive-aggressively putting a pamphlet about lockdown rules through their letterbox. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, that's because you're outside with your friends. I'm making friends all day long. That's what I do. Dun, 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 dun. Kiwi, thank you very much for the sub. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. I just dropped 1,000 points on Kev winning. It's only 1,000 points. I mean, it seems like a big risk. They've got a very green kit, haven't they? They got no fans either. Green kit, no fans. What is this? I thought they were supposed to be a big team. If we were away against Burnley in this stage of the FA Cup, there'd be fans in. I mean, I'm not saying there's no Scottish club as big as Burnley, but that might be the situation. Is it home? Green kit, no fans. It might as well be. Perhaps we should get them as a parent club. If they score, it'll be boys 2, men 0. Wow. I mean, that's presumably a joke that's done all the time, isn't it? We are losing, as you would expect. This is why we don't want to get promoted yet. We're not ready to be promoted yet. I think if we end up getting promoted, we need to navigate into a bigger club. They're just social distancing. Fair enough. I heard on the grapevine, Scottish football fans don't bother with all that. I should stop reading the news. I'm getting too topical. I preferred being a clueless buffoon. Get rid of the news again. Doesn't do anyone any good. More! I've just demanded more away against Celtic. That feels a little bit unnecessary, doesn't it? If you get promoted, leave. Wrap up and you might go down. Leave? What? I don't know what that means. Sometimes I worry that I'm far too old to understand most language that people use in Twitch chats. I don't know which end the communication error is on. Oh, it's like listening. It's like when I was a teacher trying to understand the conversations that are going on in playgrounds. That's my theory on why language varies so greatly from generation to generation. It's all designed to make sure the adults listening have no idea what the conversation is about. It's all too peng. See, no idea. I genuinely, probably 10 years since I first heard that word, still don't know if it means good or bad. If it means good, then it's far too harsh a word to mean good, and kids need to get a grip on themselves. And if it means bad, just say bad. Peng's a longer word. You idiots. Oh dear. It's both. I mean, that. I mean, can't be, can it? How can it mean both? We're seeing something about the YouTube tax saying, and apparently the UK and US have a tax treaty, so if you fill in a form, you won't be subject to additional tax. I mean, it's not quite that straightforward, but there is a tax treaty. There's definitely a tax treaty. I need to, rather than, I mean, as much as I would always trust a FIFA content creator, unless they're also a qualified tax specialist or accountant, I'll do my own reading just to be sure. But there's definitely a tax treaty. It's certainly not as bad. It's not adpocalypse. It's not, the sky isn't falling. It's probably fine. Took me a while to work out sick means good now. I still don't understand that one either. High schoolers in Dundee use slang I used to use in high school, and I left 12 years ago. Interesting. I don't remember using lots of slang when I was at school. Maybe I was into that is some hair. Maybe my school was in too middle class an area. Perhaps we didn't have any slang. There must have been some slang. I probably don't even realise it's slang. Right, we're terminating loans left, right and centre. Kev was too cool. Probably the exact opposite. I was probably not cool enough. And it was probably that I've always been a little bit, that's a stupid way to say something. I'm just going to use actual language. I've always liked clear communication. What route would you say is best into teaching? I mean, I just did a degree and then a PGCE and then got a job. It seems to me like that keeps your options open the best. I certainly wouldn't go and do a degree in teaching, because then if you're one of the 50% of people who doesn't make it 5 years in teaching, your degree is basically useless because you've got a degree in something you now know you don't want to do. So I would get a degree in a subject that's loosely related to what you want to teach, that interests you, but it gives you backup options. Like, don't have it specialized all the way down to being about teaching, or don't, like, I mean, like, if we've got any people with geography degrees in, fair play to you. You love mud, but don't go get a geography degree if you want to be a geography teacher. Get something a little bit more with some other options on, and then go get your PGCE, which then narrows in more on your subject. So my PGCE is in teaching computing for 14 to 19-year-olds, and then go get a job, and then, like most teachers, leave it within 5 years and go and get a real job, which is basically how it works, because most people don't last in teaching because it's a nightmare of a job. The hours are long, the pay's not very good, and no one ever says thank you. Posh it down to 10 men. I'm doing a business degree, then a PGCE. That makes a lot of sense. I'm doing it that way too. Degree first, then PGCE. Awesome stuff. Schools direct is great for teaching at postgrad level. I have never met a good teacher who came through that system rather than the PGCE system. It might have changed in the 4 years I've been out of teaching, but in my experience, that was very much the BTEC route into teaching for people who couldn't get on a PGCE. Now, that might have changed, but that's certainly how it was. Like, I did my teacher training 8-9 years ago, and we certainly looked down our nose at the schools direct lot. And they'd all go, yeah, but we're getting paid. And we'd yell back, yeah, but we're in an in-demand subject. We're getting tax-free bursaries. Huzzah! Love a tax-free bursary. Might go and become a doctor just to get another one. Do doctors get tax-free bursaries? I think architects do. Might just work my way through all of the stuff you can get a tax-free bursary for, and just spend the rest of my life training to do jobs that I won't do for very long. Isn't geography just flags? I mean, if we have got any geography graduates in, you've just made them very cross, because they'll tell you it's nothing to do with flags. It's about sediment and oxbow lakes. They love a bit of sediment and oxbow lake. But geography was about colouring in. I mean, I have got a GCSE in geography, but I don't remember what we really did. It was just one of those, it's an easy enough subject. I'll just take a GCSE in that one, please. Did I look down my nose at school direct or Smoothman more? Both equally, probably. They're both treated with equal disdain. Do I think universities should be free like in Scotland? No. Geography is the most boring subject, but it's hyped about. I don't know if it's the most boring subject. Did you not do German in your school, or French, or any kind of modern language? Oh, they're boring. Can't stand languages. Schools direct is great if you can find schools direct with a university PGC attached. Maybe it is. I don't know. Like I say, it's a long time since I looked into any of it. Plantagenet. I don't know. Thank you for the sub. Languages are fun once you cover the basics. Nah, they're not. Do I look Spanish to you? Exactly. Kev's got the right idea. I did German up until year 10. It was awful. Yeah, we had to do a language for GCSE in my school. So I had to do GCSE German. What a waste of time that was. I don't speak a word. I've got a C in GCSE German. Do not speak a word of it now. So qualifications are great, everybody. Never been to Germany. Never needed to use it. Then some people love all that, don't they? Some people like playing musical instruments. Some people like doing languages. I like doing useful things. I shouldn't be so trolly. But, you know. I spent my entire time at school learning to program, so who's the big nerd here, really? Who's the big nerd learning a marketable skill? What if I want to do a save in the Bundesliga? I'll just leave the game language in English and we'll be all right. I'm doing GCSE Spanish at the moment. You can just tell none of us care about it. Yeah, that's the thing that I never got. I think languages might have worked better when I was at school if they were voluntary, because then the kids who wanted to do them would have actually been engaged and the lessons wouldn't have been so just rubbish, because 90% of the kids in every German lesson didn't want to be there, so they were all disruptive. No one wanted to be there, so we just didn't engage with it. So the poor kids who actually wanted to do it got a terrible education in it because they were having to learn with a group of people who didn't want to do it. I had to do French for 6 years, and then my teacher in my school report recommended I don't continue beyond that point. Fair enough. Oh, Terrell Whitaker. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I did French and German at A level and then became a civil engineer and don't speak either now. Brilliant. It is mad that you can qualify in it to a reasonably high level. I mean, how long ago was it that you were getting A levels in these subjects and now you don't speak it? It's insane. Do you think it should be schools have to teach every pupil sign language instead of a foreign one? No, I think that's a very, that's a very niche thing as well. I think there's, yeah, in an ideal world, everybody could do it because then it doesn't exclude the people who need it. But at the same time, kids have got enough to learn. They really don't need to be forced to do another thing that they might never need. I mean, I have never needed to use sign language in my life. So even if I'd have learned it at school, I wouldn't know it now. I was meant to do French at school, but even the teacher couldn't be bothered, so we just went and played football instead. Nice. The only thing I remember about my French, the teacher was called Zanussi. I always thought they made kitchen appliances. Maybe it was that person. Maybe it was the person who made the kitchen appliances. Sign language is really important, I think, to learn. Only if you are going to be around people who need you to be able to sign. I mean, it's only important in context, isn't it? It's a tricky one. Putting loads of pressure on kids who can barely read and write in English, which I'd spent a couple of years working at an inner city school in Peterborough, and there were plenty of kids doing their GCSEs who couldn't read properly, couldn't write properly. So putting pressure on those kids to learn sign language when actually, you know what? It'd be more useful if you just learnt to read. I don't see that is beneficial to anybody. Do you think sign language should be part of the curriculum, or at least be an option to choose? I don't think it should be part of the curriculum, no, for the reason I just said. If people want to do it, they can just go and do a course in it, I would suggest. You're lucky to speak English as your mother tongue. Everyone else needs to learn at least one foreign language nowadays. Yeah. I completely agree. Everyone needs to learn English. I already speak English. I don't need to learn another language because the whole world... It's a very arrogant English thing to say, but I've never been anywhere... I mean, I'm not particularly widely travelled, but around Europe, I've never been anywhere where I couldn't get by talking English. So, got better things to do than learn to speak Flemish so I can enjoy Belgium when they speak perfect English. Every Belgian I've ever met speaks perfect English. Sign language should have been universal. But I don't know what that means. I'm a bit confused. I once had a maths teacher who was called Mr. Simon Plus. That's brilliant. All you need to know is how to say, do you speak English in the language of where you're going? Exactly. And failing that, Google Translate in your phone. I mean, just use that. That works a treat. Google Translate's brilliant. I think learning another language is very useful. I speak fluent Welsh as well, though sadly it's one of those languages that wouldn't really take me places. I mean, I guess we might have different opinions on what the word useful means. If you're planning on going and living and working in Portugal, then yeah, go and speak Portuguese. But for me, living and working in England and not needing to speak any other languages to do that, I'm not sure how useful learning another language would be for me. I usually learn to say thank you, yes and no. Yeah, I mean, before we went to France a couple of years ago, I learned the very basics just so that I could pick up really just stuff like road signs and how to say please and thank you, how to ask for a cup of coffee, you know, the essentials. Just because I know if you're in a big city, then if you're in a touristy area, you're likely to run into people who speak English. But if I'm at a motorway service station in the middle of nowhere, then I might not run into someone who speaks anything other than French. So I need to be able to order a cup of coffee, say thank you, understand the numbers so I can pay and that kind of thing. But I didn't really go beyond that. Can't remember much of it now, and as and when we go back, I'll just spend 2 weeks brushing up on those basics again. And that's enough, really. Do you think stuff like first aid should be on the curriculum in some way? Again, it's one of those, it's a really useful skill to have if kids are interested in it. I think it's interesting. Speaking as a teacher, even though I haven't been a teacher for a little while, but speaking as a former teacher, let's phrase it that way. Kids struggle enough with everything they have to learn as it is. Some kids. The kids that don't struggle, they'll go and learn first aid and sign language at scouts or guides or an after school club, or they'll go and do lessons in it or something because they're interested. The ones who aren't interested, you could put them through first aid every week for 2 years at school, and all they're going to do is choke each other with bandages because they just don't care. They're not interested. So the focus on those kids needs to be getting them through their exams, not teaching them how to do the kiss of life, because all they'll do is use it as a reason to lick girls. Teenagers. Oh, teenagers. As a teacher, it's always easier to teach something kids are interested in. Exactly. If I dropped down dead, would hope someone around me would know CPR. Yeah. What I wouldn't want is someone who did a little bit of it at school and now thinks they know what they're doing to get involved. So I'd rather it be someone who took the time to learn how to do it properly. And if it takes them an extra minute to get to me, I'll wait the minute. You're all right, thanks. I don't want Gareth, age 15, in his tracksuit to start giving me chest compressions. Isn't first aid required for our driving license? No. I mean, I did first aid at Scouts. I can do basic first aid. I did basic first aid as part of being a teacher. Posture check and drinking. Who needs a course? We've all seen CPR on TV. Brilliant. Bean Machine, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Recovery position is useful to know. Yeah, absolutely. And kids do stuff like that in their PSHE lessons. None of them will remember it, but it is something that is covered. I think more useful than all of this stuff would be teaching basic financial literacy in schools. I was pushing for this throughout my time as a teacher. Financial literacy absolutely should be in there. Kids should leave school knowing how overdrafts work, knowing how credit cards work, knowing how loans work, knowing how mortgages work, knowing how savings accounts work, knowing what compound interest is, knowing that student loans aren't big scary things that you need to avoid. Just basic financial literacy. PSAT was just condoms on a cucumber. I taught PSAT for a couple of years and it was never condoms on a cucumber when I did it, because I did a personal finance module. We used to rotate around, we'd do a term each, and I did my PSAT on financial literacy. So there's a generation of kids in the Peterborough area who at the very least know how a credit card works. You're welcome, kids. Hasn't Martin Lewis set up something to do just that in schools? No idea. In America, we call financial literacy economics, and most high schools teach it. Financial literacy and economics are two very different subjects. And we have economics. It's an optional thing, but it's nothing to do with financial literacy. Like personal finance. Compound interest was definitely taught in maths. Yeah, but a lot of kids don't then realise how that applies to their own personal circumstances when they get older. The amount of people who will have learnt compound interest in maths but only learnt it as an abstract concept and not realise that's what's happening to their credit card balance every month, and it's what could be happening to their savings balance that they don't have every month. Yeah, as Jack says, in maths, compound interest was never put in the context of credit cards and debt. Absolutely. I have to be first aid qualified for my sports coaching. Never had to use it in 7 years. To be honest, I hope I never have to. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, bumming again. Can't help myself. Really, I learned a lot about savings and investing in economics. Where are you in the world? Are you in the UK? Or are you somewhere else? Maybe I need to give my school more credit than I do. They do some stuff around finance and maths lessons. Awesome. These days people put a £20 shirt and a 300% APR finance plan. I know. But it's so cheap, I only have to pay back £3 a month. You're in America. Okay. Perhaps economics is two different things in the different countries. I learned first aid for foster parenting. Never used it. Awesome. Anyone who's learnt first aid and never had to use it, congratulations. I've also never had to use it, which is awesome. Hope I never have to. Wouldn't know what to do now, like Jack said. Would have no idea what to do now. I'd need a refresher. Our teacher said he'll do finance after we've learned everything else. I feel as though finance should come before finding X. It's difficult because you can't understand some of the more complex financial stuff without understanding basic mathematical principles, and finding X is useful. I had this discussion with my youngest offspring over the weekend. She was like, I now understand how to find the length of the hypotenuse on a triangle. I'll never need to use that after my GCSEs. You say you'll never have to use it. I used it when we moved house to make sure that we got the right size TV cabinet to fit in the corner. So you say you'll never use it? I use it. I'm a nerd. Tell me you never. If you end up being a builder and having to learn how to put a staircase together, you'll need to know how to do some maths on designing that staircase. As a maths teacher, I can tell you I do teach compound interest in real life contexts, such as interest added to debt and savings. Good. I don't think all maths teachers do. It was certainly never taught to me in that context, and I think even then, because it's in maths, it still feels abstract to the kids sometimes. Maybe you're an incredible teacher. I hope you are, and I hope you're educating lots of people on how to do or how to understand something actually useful. But there's so many people. I'm still flabbergasted by the amount of people who don't understand why having a credit card balance is a really bad idea. I actually used Pythagoras and trigonometry working out the angle of a run up in uni for sports analysis. Yeah, exactly. It does get used. First time watching your Twitch, but want to say thanks for your video. You gave me something to look forward to. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. In construction, they use the 3, 4, 5 triangle, i.e. Pythagoras, when building a door frame. Exactly. It is useful. People say they're never going to use it. Promise you it's useful. I remember compound interest being taught that way, but I don't remember what we were actually taught. Yeah. I mean, the general principle of compound interest, have money, don't owe money. Learn that much. And then the magic happens. The magic happens one way or the other. The magic's either happening to you or the credit card company. Not going to argue maths, but poem analysis, usefulness on a scale of 1 to 100. I mean, if you're going into any kind of creative field, it just helps you get a better grasp of the language, doesn't it? You can't take culture out of education, because then you get into the whole debate of, well, what's the point of music lessons? I don't want to be a musician. It's culture. What's the point of drama? Culture. You got to have a little bit of culture. You're not just that. Education isn't just to churn out employees. The more it gets towards that, the worse education gets. You're supposed to churn out well-rounded individuals who have got loads of options available to them to choose the life that they want. If you come out of school aged 18 having never looked at a poem, then you're probably not going to have the option to become a poet. All kids should ideally be able to analyse text. Helps with critical reasoning skills. Yeah, exactly. Is this an honest legend? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We started in Wales. Now we're in Scotland. The lack of time dedicated to learning history is also not great. I mean, I did multiple history lessons a week. I did history GCSE. Sometimes sit in English when we're doing poems with my classmates, they're analysing random words really deeply, and I'm sat there drawing stick men with my highlighter. Well, then you probably won't be the one who goes on to be a writer, you know, but they might. So there might be stuff you're good at and you enjoy that they don't enjoy, but you have to give every kid the opportunity to try all of these things. And there are basic levels of stuff that you do need to be a functioning adult. If you, like someone else said, if you can't read and comprehend a piece of text, then adult life is hard. Was I a dictator as a teacher? I'm not a dictator. I was a learning facilitator because I did a very practical based subject. I didn't really have to stand up and teach a lot. My lessons would be like 5 minutes, not even that, a couple of minutes explaining the key concept for the lesson, maybe a brief discussion to make sure they understand the key concept for the lesson, rest of the lesson applying key concept, and then testing it at the end. So mine was very much about just getting on and doing it and practicing programming more than anything. Just started FM. What's the best way to get rid of grumpy players who are high influence? Offer them out on loan. If you offer them out on loan like 3 or 4 times, with them on the loan list and the transfer list, they'll go somewhere. That gets them out of the way if the morale's a problem. If you want to get money for them, it becomes more challenging. You're probably going to have to accept not a lot of money. But if you just want rid of them because they're wrecking dynamics, just get them out on loan somewhere. I slept all the way through English last year and got a 7. Well, then perhaps you're quite good at English. There's a strange snobbishness towards stuff like drama and music from certain subjects. Imagine how boring the world would be without actors and musicians. Yeah, exactly. I wish I'd engaged more with drama as a kid, because it would help me so much more with what I do now. And in fact, what I was doing in previous careers. I mean, this is my 3rd career after being a teacher and a financial advisor, but I used to have to give presentations to groups of people and stuff before I even became a teacher. And I used to really struggle with public speaking because I had no experience of getting up and speaking in front of people and learning lines and speaking clearly. And one of the things I've worked on most over the last 10 or 15 years is clear verbal communication, because I really struggled with it because I was just a nerd who didn't feel the need to develop my communication skills. I just wanted to code because I was a nerd. But I realized that the nerds who can't communicate are the lowest paid nerds. What a goal from the one-armed swan. The nerds who make all the money are the nerds who can show a little bit of charisma as well. And then I practiced that side of things so much that ended up becoming the thing I got paid for. So even at school, the stuff you hate, I used to hate drama at school, and now I literally just had to fill in on the census form that I'm an entertainer. And I hated drama and dropped it as soon as I could. You don't know when you're a kid what you'll end up doing and what you like. I dreaded speaking in front of people and still do. The only way to get over that is to speak in front of people a lot. I used to hate it too. Now I've done panels and speaking engagements at Comic-Con and EGX and various trade shows and things. I stream in front of thousands of people during the showdown, not on my own. You know, I used to hate it. I spent 6 months once working in telesales and used to be so afraid of making a fool of myself that I didn't even want to make the calls because I was afraid of umming and erring and making an idiot of myself on the call and wasn't confident at all in my verbal communication. And the only way to get over it is to do it a lot and force yourself into doing it and getting better. The best piece of advice I was ever given was when I was doing my teacher training, and that was usually when you're going and it's your brain just trying to fill moments of silence while you think of what to say next. And you've got to convince yourself that it's actually fine to just leave a pause for a moment and think about what you're going to say next. You don't have to fill the noise. And just by trying to reduce the ums and the ers that you do, you end up sounding like a much more confident and polished speaker. And I know I still and a lot, but nowhere near as much as I used to. It used to be every sentence. It used to be constant. Whereas now I try and leave a pause, think of what I'm going to say next, and not be afraid of having a little moment of silence creeping in. It doesn't make you seem as dumb as all the time does, or you know what I mean, or like, or all this stuff that people use as little sentence crutches. Bin off all that nonsense and just think. Engage the thinking. I used to hate it, but my English teacher made me always read the main character, and that helped me a lot. Now I don't mind talking at all. Awesome. Osher losing 2-1. Goodness me. What a world. I can talk in front of people face to face, but can't talk on the phone unless I know the person. I'm still a little bit like that. I don't really like phone calls. I think a lot of, which is weird considering what I now do as a job, but I'm not very good face to face even. I'm much better because I think face to face conversation and actually having conversations with people is a much harder skill to learn that I still struggle a bit with. Whereas broadcasting, I can do comfortably. Talking to large groups of people, I can do comfortably. I could sit and do an hour-long podcast on whatever topic you want, probably without much prep. And I've I've even polished the skill of, if you tell me to talk for an hour, we'll talk for an hour and then I'll stop. If you give me 12 minutes, I'll give you back 12 minutes of content, because I'm so practiced at it now. But try and have just a normal conversation without me having a topic or any planning, and I'm rubbish. That's the next thing I need to learn on. Learn on? Brilliant. I mean, that undermines the entire point, doesn't it? The next thing I need to learn on. Brilliant, Kev. Go back to school, you moron. We are smashing air. Love it. I've got more confident over the last few months doing video calls at work. I'm considering becoming a babe station model. Nice. Good money in it, I hear. My English teacher hated me. It was because I was dyslexic and she didn't believe I was. I mean, maybe you did come across a real bad egg, but often I don't think I ever hated a student. So, I don't know. I think it's pretty rare for a teacher to hate a student. Sometimes it might feel that way. It could have been that they were trying to help and were just a little bit misguided. They could have just been total wangs, but they could have been trying to help by allowing you to practice more and trying to challenge you and not really understanding how to be helpful and thinking they were doing what was best. I would say it's unlikely they actually hated you. But unfortunately, stuff like dyslexia isn't really taught as part of teacher training. It's something you have to go off and learn on your own as part of your CPD, and a lot of CPD within schools is self-directed. So you learn about the stuff that interests you and you can kind of let the other stuff fall under the radar. It's a little bit of a fault in the system, I think, that teachers can go a long time without learning about, like, because I specialised in education for autism as part of my PGCE, because obviously Andy having an interest in it, all that kind of stuff. And the amount of people who I would come across who, because every school has a lot of kids somewhere on the autism spectrum, and the amount of teachers that wouldn't have the first idea how to deal with that. They weren't even reading the files of the kids, so they didn't even know who their kids with autism were. It was a big yikes. We are top of the league. It's awesome. I just get really nervous as soon as someone starts to talk to me that aren't my close friends or family. The only way to get over that is by talking to people who aren't your close friends and family. It's did one there. It's one of the great frustrations. Usually the thing you're worst at, the only way to get better at it is to do it loads more, and obviously it's human nature to try and protect you from doing the stuff that you know you're not going to be very good at. But over time you can turn a weakness into a strength just by practicing it. My English teacher used to always pick me when asking a question to the class. I used to think he hated me. It might have been that he thought you were the smartest kid in the room, or the one who needed refocusing back on the task the most. Good way to make sure you're listening is by always making sure you're listening. Or it could have just been that you were the one who looked most distinctive, so they remembered your name. Could be something as simple as that. There's plenty of classes I taught where I'd only know the names of 2 or 3 kids, so I'd use those names, and the rest of them, unless they raised their hand, I'm a monster. There are teachers who just don't believe in mental health. If there are, I never met them. I do feel like school's heavily regimented. I never understood why you aren't taught basic skills, then allowed in secondary school to tailor your education to your strengths alongside English and maths. I mean, that's what secondary education is, your basic skills. You then tailor your education post-16. Because remember, your education doesn't end until you're like 21, when you finish uni, or whatever you do after school, like after 16, post-16 stuff. So getting to age 16 is your basic skills. That's giving you that platform that you can then build off of in any direction. Virtual learning's ruined my ability to learn names because I learn names by handing work back to students. Yeah. NHS also offers speech therapy if you have a stammer or a speech issue. Really helped me, even if it was mainly just encouragement. That's awesome. There's a functional skills GCSE. My understanding of functional skills is it's largely for people who failed English or maths first time around, and rather than redoing a full English or maths GCSE, they can do a functional skills in English or maths, which is slightly more tailored towards real life applications of it, and it still counts as a GCSE in that subject. That's certainly what it was like 10 years ago, last time I looked into it. Chazza, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. Virtual learning's made it so we don't need to learn names because they're displayed in the Zoom. That's not going to be around much longer, is it? There once was a man called LOLLUJO who has won 5 showdowns. I mean, this is why kids need to study poetry at school. I'll have you know, he now manages CLYDE from a nice room inside and gets paid by his subs so he can do so. We've not quite got the right beats in place there. It's a start, but this is where we need poetry analysis, and we can hammer that into shape so that it rolls off perfectly. It's a good effort. There you go. Now we're going to have group poetry analysis. We've had a player sent off. Yeah, I did know. We've had a player sent off and we're losing. It's all going wrong. No poem about me would involve dubs. As everyone knows, I can't stand that nonsense. Poetry was such a waste of time. Unless, you know, you like poetry, in which case it's not. Because there's plenty of people who would be like, well, PE was such a waste of time. My kids, for example, hate PE. So none of it's a waste of time. It's all about giving kids a broad-based education that they can then tailor as they get older. You have to give everybody the same platform to build from. You have to give them enough of a taste of something so they can form an opinion whether they like it or not. School isn't designed for every kid to like every lesson. It's designed for you to be able to choose what you want to do next. My team is doing well in this game. We are doing very well. Okay, you need to update the schedule bit underneath your stream. It's still vaguely right, isn't it? I think forcing religious school kids to do RE. I mean, we're not going to get into a debate about politics and religion, but kids having to do religious education is not an education decision. It's very much a political decision. So, yeah, we don't need to get into it. Right, we are winning against Wraith now as well. We have come good at just the right time. Which is nice. Want to win back-to-back promotions? We'll have a bit of that. I never understood why in PE boys did football and rugby, whereas girls did netball and dance. Because traditionally that's what they've always done, I guess. I mean, I used to play netball. In fact, I did all 4 of them. So I don't know if the girls did football and rugby, but because we were split into boys and girls for PE. But I know I definitely had spells of doing both netball and dance was a separate subject to PE. Dance was done by the drama lot usually. That would kind of rotate in and out with drama rather than being part of PE. But I certainly did netball. how many games in the Scottish season. I'm not sure. Posh are losing 3-1 now. It's all gone wrong. Good job I didn't watch it, so it doesn't count. Games only count for the league table if I watch them. I've dropped my pen. So glad as a drama teacher I don't have dance or something to teach. That would be a disaster. Nice. We'll praise Andy Reid, the little fat moron. Big fan of the channel. Doing a League One save reports of any free agents or starts I should be looking out for. No idea, to be honest. I've not started a save in League One this year, so just use your scouting. Scouting's awesome. I prefer playing netball to basketball, just didn't want to admit it at an all-boys school. I prefer netball to basketball. It seems more cerebral. I like the fact that you can't move your feet. It makes it a little bit different to other sports. Basketball is just like football, but with weird rules. Whereas netball's a different game, and I liked that. Except the save you started in League One with Posh. I don't remember who I signed. Probably very little. FM Benji, thank you very much for the sub. The only time we were split boys and girls in PE was in swimming because there was a guy in my class who was a bit of a creep. I mean, fair enough then. 36 games in the championship. Okay, so we've got 11 games remaining. Cool. We might actually do this. We've just beaten our 2 nearest rivals back to back. So we've actually got a chance. We're level on points now with Air. Wraith are 4 points behind with a game in hand. So we're not running away with things, but we are in some quite pleasant form. We've thumped Air, and to be honest, we've thumped them both. We've battered them both back to back. The one-armed Swan's the highest scorer in the division. All going good. Only issue I have had with drama, even up to A-level, they never really taught different genres of theatre. Really wanted to learn more about performing comedy, but I never had part of the syllabus, so I had to learn it on my own time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do drama, so I don't really know I don't know at all what was covered in drama beyond just doing it up to like year 8, year 9. You want to hear the poem I created for you? You asked for one. Did I ask for a poem? When have I asked for a poem? Have I played Morton? I don't know. Are Morton in this league? That's not the league. We must have done. Because we played 25 games in a 10-team league. So we almost certainly have played them. I always enjoyed supply teachers. We just taught to mess around. Yeah, that's the universal law of supply teachers. Basically a free period. I'm gonna need that poem to be punctuated and written out line by line so I can follow it. I can't track where the beat of it is. It just looks like a really long couple of sentences to me. What was the score? What, against Morton? Most recently, we beat them 3-0. We had a teacher who retired at the end of the year, so we just watched films all year. Oh, some people should never have been allowed to teach. That's hideous. I was one of those evil teachers who never put films on, even like in the last few days before Christmas or before the end of term. I might do a fun programming lesson where we could make a little one-off game. Programming is fun enough on its own. You don't need to watch movies. You're here to learn. Watch movies on your own time. Lazy Herberts. Kevy no films, exactly. Fun and programming don't belong together. I mean, we're literally sat here. You're watching me play a video game. Do you think it was brought into existence by magic? Programming created the fun that we're having right now. The game, Twitch, OBS, everything involved in this it's all computer science. You don't know how much I'd hate your lessons. I mean, I wouldn't care probably. I was there to teach the kids who wanted to learn. I wasn't going to drag along I mean, because I taught mainly exam groups, you wouldn't have been in my lessons, I imagine, unless you chose computer science GCSE, which if you would then hate computer science would have been really dumb. Generally, I only taught kids who wanted to be there because they'd chosen to be there. I stayed away from the younger groups who had to do it. One of my teachers would put on the first half of Happy Gilmore every year at Christmas. I've seen the first half about 5 times. Brilliant. They should have saved it from year to year. We did a Santa's Wishlist Python game at Christmas and it was great. It sounds great. Where is my Coke? Here it is. Little spillage. We'll be all right. You knew it was going to be a banging lesson in 2005 when the teacher rolled in with a CRT on wheels. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. This is the advantage of the British system over the American system. I have so many theatre students that just don't want to be at high school level. Yeah, I mean, there's some subject. I mean, the core subjects everyone has to do. So you have to do maths, English, science. And then there's a little bit of discretion from school to school, but most schools will then insist on a language, RE, and some kind of traditional subject in the mix as well, and then you'll get 2 or 3 optional ones to put in. By traditional things, I mean like you'd need to choose history or geography, mainly one of those 2, and then everything else is a bit of a free-for-all. You'd choose 2 from every other subject under the sun. Posture check. There we go. Posture check is done. In my class, I had an Acorn computer. Did you use these at school? I used an Acorn Archimedes. Acorn Archimedes? Was that a thing? I think they made the Archimedes. That was the computer I learned to program on. Like, properly learned. I used to sit there and copy games out of magazines on my Spectrum. But actually learning to do stuff myself was on an Acorn. Best thing about supply teacher was when everyone had to write the name on the sheet to register the names people put down. Oh, kids are evil monsters. They're just trying to earn some money. We had 1 year of Acorns at secondary before they replaced them all with Windows PCs. Mr. Fancy over here. Right, after noticing our good form, we're now losing to the Q Park. Can't lose to the Q Park. This is no good. Come on, Terrell. Show me why you should be starting regularly in the home save. Has he won a penalty? Of course he hasn't. I remember when we used to win penalties. By the way, that change we made to the graphics seems to have sorted everything out. We're no longer clunky. That 1 match trial we were doing that has gone on for ages, it's no longer clunky and it just looks spot on. So turning the shadow down fixed everything, which is awesome. We had a biology lesson where they rolled out the CRT and showed us this really odd video that had way too many penises in it to show 12-year-olds. I mean, if there's one thing that gets a group of 12-year-olds engaged in a piece of content, it's penises. So it might have had the desired effect. Did your school have a set of supply teachers they used regularly? We all had to do bits of supply ourselves, if you mean when I was teaching. So we'd all have a set amount of cover lessons that we'd be expected to do. So it was quite rare for there to be like pure supply teachers. It would be like I'd go over and do a maths lesson and like I'd walk in and I'd actually be able to teach a bit because I did A-level maths. They'd try and target us towards the subjects we could do. So I did maths, physics and business as my A-levels. So I would go and do cover in those departments. And they'd try and get everybody doing the stuff they could sort of do. Which was clever, I thought. Dante Casanova! Oh, that would have been a lovely goal. Well, whole Q Park ruining things for us. We're still all right at the moment. We had a guy who I think was semi-retired who basically did any supply teaching. Main job was a wedding DJ. What a life. That sounds incredible. That's like the 90s version of what I do now. when I was doing YouTube on the side of teaching, it's like the modern equivalent, isn't it? I'm the modern wedding DJ. We had 2 designated supply teachers who were either really nice or relaxed or mad all lesson, nothing in between. Nice. They sound great. Right. Are we... Does the division split soon? I think this might be the last game before the split. Is there a split? There's no split. Okay, we're not in Wales anymore. There's no split. We just play everybody 4 times, I guess. Fair enough. Yeah, a supply teacher and a substitute, I guess, are the same thing. Splits in the spuffle. Okay. We'll wait until we're in the spuffle before we get excited about splits then. Only there's... In fact, Spuffle's not... Spuffle's the cup. Isn't it? It's not the SPFL, isn't it? I thought it was just the SPL. I'm confused now. The Spl... We had a supply teacher who was always pregnant. Perhaps she was just fat. Have you considered that fat people exist? Fat people are people too. We had a supply teacher who didn't know how to deal with teenagers. One day threatened to hit a kid. The kid reported him and he got sacked from the school. Nice. One of my supply teachers used to teach Todd Cantwell and a few other Norwich players when they were younger. The Spuffle is the top 4 leagues. Okay. So we're in the Spuffle currently. Hopefully going into the Spluh. How am I this evening? I'm very good. Thank you very much. Having a lovely old time. Do need to get rid of this KFC hat on Pac-Man though. They've had enough free promo out of me this week. Do we think they've stopped talking on their driveway yet? So that I can open the window again. Hot in here. My class once made a supply teacher cry after 4 minutes being in the class. I was kind of proud of that. That is quite good going. I once had a teacher lob a chair across the room in anger. He was instantly more liked after that. How times have changed. Yeah. Got to show a bit of feeling. A great way to get a really unruly class on board is just tactical use of a swear word. Just the one. And make it look like an accident. They'll think you're cool then because you swore. Tactical swearing. The teacher's best friend. It's a great way to get post-16 classes on side immediately as well. They've been used to you being a proper teacher, and then you get into A-level and you just drop a swear in one of the early lessons and they realise everything's different. Oh. Caning was still a thing when I was at school. Yikes. I do remember when I started secondary school in 93, so caning had been illegal for a long time. But we had a history teacher who must have been, I would estimate, maybe 1,000 years old. And he used to have an old style, like I would say like an American style locker. I never saw those kind of lockers in the UK, but the ones that are like full height locker. And that was just full of canes. And he used to show us them, and he used to hit them on the table and stuff to try and intimidate us and talk about how he used to cane people with them. And we'd all just be like, yeah, but you can't, we know you can't do that now. And we were 11 years old, and there's this 800-year-old man who's trying to act the big shot by showing us his weapons that we know he can't use on us. He had a fetish. Maybe he did. My high school was in a rough part of Scotland and some of our teachers didn't care about the way we spoke. I think because they were acting normal, I think it benefited them in the long run. Nice. We had a modern studies teacher. What on earth is modern studies? A modern studies teacher where if you couldn't be bothered with the lesson, you asked if you saw the game at the weekend and it was football talk for the rest of the lesson. I need to know what modern studies is. A 1,000-year-old history teacher is handy. Oh yeah, I think he was there at like the Battle of Hastings. Probably too old to fight in it. He was just stood at the back waving his cane around. Modern studies are like politics and stuff. Okay. What a weird name. Around these parts, it's just called politics. We had a sub-teacher who asked us to feel his ball. It was a foam ball. It was still weird. I mean, that is pretty weird. I imagine he's in prison now. We used to play games with our history teacher when the TV came out. One lad had a watch that could control the VCR and the TV. We got banned from TV privileges. Brilliant. I remember when I was teaching, there was some app came out on phones that allowed you to use them as TV remotes. I don't even know how it worked. I don't need to understand the nonsense behind it. But basically, there was a group of kids who realised they could control all the TVs that were around the school for like school announcements and stuff and put their own messages up on them. That was a fun week. Better Than Life, thank you very much for the sub. Right, come on, boys. Let's get back to winning ways today. We want to do a football. Watches were remote control and calculators were a fad at one point. Amazing. TVs around the school. Yeah, I worked in a fancy academy that had loads of money spent on it. It looked more like an office building. It was so fancy and modern, it didn't have any outdoor areas for the students. It was just one massive 3-story office building and all the classrooms were glass walls and we were encouraged to write on them with marker pens so we could be, let's teach all around the room. And there was TVs all over the place with school announcements and stuff. But the kids learned how to control them. Did I ever see a teacher get sacked or something? Yes. Multiple times. Everyone's school had those temporary PE changing rooms. The ones I worked at didn't. The school I was just talking about was so fancy, it had a cricket pavilion. They threw some money at that school. A permanent cricket pitch and a pavilion. With a balcony and everything. Right. That was a fun place to work. They should hire me back, but only for like 3 days a year. Just go in, get my fill, and then leave. I'll go in as a consultant. Just go and do some supply teaching. We once put a sticker on the bottom of the teacher's mouse. It took him the whole lesson to realise I used to do that to Smoothman every day. Every day. I presume you never had wonderful porter cabins. I'm afraid not. My PE teacher at my school was having an affair with the RE teacher. I mean, it's rare to find a PE teacher who's not having an affair with one of the other members of staff. a lot of the time I think that's what PE teachers are for, just entertaining the rest of the staff. My PE teacher had a baby with an English teacher. Yeah, this all sounds right. Putting the physical into education. Yeah, I mean, those of you who are students watching, you'll be amazed how many of your teachers are banging each other. It's the ones who never went into the real world, the ones who went from school to university, back to school again, and still treat it like a playground. They're always having it off with each other. Aren't the chances of two teachers from the same school dating really high? Only two would be really low chances. They're all at it with each other. A friend of mine told one student in her school actually went out one of the teachers, which was weird. I went to school with somebody who is now married to one of our old teachers. He left mysteriously midway through what would it be, year 13 now. And then a few years later, we found out she'd married him. So, yeah, stuff like that goes on. As far as I'm aware, he's still teaching as well. Our head of PE was trying to teach rugby. My mate didn't want to join in and get dirty, so the teacher tripped him over and dragged him 20 yards across the floor just to make him dirty. That's brilliant. Like that. Right, Ruben Collins obviously gets a new contract because he's our hero. Everyone else can wait. Bum, 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 bum. One of the teachers when I was at school angrily insisted that he wasn't seeing the music teacher until I bumped into them at a comedy gig. Brilliant. But going out with a student would get you banned for life. I mean, I guess the fact that she was probably 18 at the time and it was the 90s meant he got away with it. These days, it's still abuse of a position of authority, even if she's an adult. But back then, I think it was you can just leave immediately and we'll write you a reference just to get you out of the way. And he then moves on to another school and then marries a 21-year-old a few years later. And he was probably only, I mean, it's not like he was a dirty old man. He was probably 2 years out of uni. So he would have been like 23 and she was 18. So it's not like it's super, super weird, but still pretty weird because he was her teacher. Back then it was a free-for-all, basically. Yeah. But often, I think in lots of jobs, often, unless something's really, really, really bad, if something's just pretty bad, more often than not, rather than going through the hassle of sacking someone, you'll just invite them to resign. Just to get them out there. You resign immediately, we'll write you a reference, it gets you out of here, you're not our problem anymore. Let's move you on somewhere else. And that goes on far more than it should. I mean, God. Yeah, we will offer these new contracts because we want these boys. I was imagining a 50-year-old. Yeah, he wasn't a 50-year-old. It was like the age gap's probably not much difference to what me and Anna is. But we met when we were in our late 20s, or I was in my late 20s, and I wasn't her teacher. Firing someone's too much paperwork. Exactly. And then you've got the whole, you have to have proof to fire someone. Because if they take you to court for unfair dismissal, you know, it's your word against theirs. So sometimes if you know, we all know it goes on, I'm sure. After about 3 months, we realised my A-level physics teacher was my former babysitter from 14 years prior. Nice. A changing nappies kind of babysitter. Or just sitting watching TV in the living room while you're in bed kind of babysitter. I doubt it. Should have only been around 20 or so. Okay. Right, come on, boys. It's Kev versus ICT again. This happens a lot. I'm determined to take ICT down. We are top of the league, clear by a point at the moment. ICT, just outside the relegation zone. Oh, hydrate. I will. Thank you very much. Delicious it was too. That is a big throw from Dante Casanova. And there we've scored a goal. McClucky. We should draft him in the showdown. I mean, who says long throws are overpowered? This is stunning. Don't clip that one. I don't want any evidence. Oh, I need to turn the fan up a little bit. Tell me if you can hear that and I'll get up and open the window again. If that's coming through as fan hum. Goalkeeper doesn't touch that, it doesn't count. Well, luckily he did. Oh, Casanova's at it again. Here we go. Oh, that's nowhere near as effective. I mean, we are almost going to score again. Can't hear it. Smashing. Then we are good. I can continue to keep myself lovely and cool. Oh, they've done us at our own game there. Not ideal. Ah. Can't, I mean, there you go. There's proof that the game does it as well. We've got evidence both sides now. The AI doesn't do it, so you shouldn't do it. Dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. Are now back above us again. This isn't good. We need a goal. Hold on now. Do a football. Here we go. The one-armed swan. Look at that turn. Who is this in all this space over here? Is that Whittaker? Get the ball to Whittaker. Just do it on your own. The one-armed swan. Couldn't keep it down. That would have been sensational. But 'twas not to be. Who said it doesn't? The comment section. That's the big argument for me to not use exploits. It's an exploit if the AI doesn't do it. Well, the AI does do it. We've just seen evidence of it there. Right, come on. Goal here would be lovely. Hey! Oh, my arm. Ruben Collins, I'm opening this window after all. It's still up. Want to see a bit of knee? Oh! Kev's knee! Pick my pen up now as well. Did you enjoy the knee? Can't get myself readjusted now. Still haven't got a new chair, although we are working on one. Hopefully a chair is in my future. Breaks the illusion when you stand up. I always think of you as just nipples and up. Yeah, I prefer that. Just think of my nipples. It's fine. You all saw skin. Yeah, everyone is now due a resub, or at least some bits. What a knee. I'm glad you enjoyed my knee. That was my left knee, for those of you looking to piece together an idea of what my naked form might be like. You've now seen left knee. Am I still vegan? No, I've not been vegan since January time. Mainly because it was impossible to function with Anna and her not being vegan and me being vegan and having to cook for us both and fit around her work schedule. It was just a nightmare. It was either start eating meat again or live off takeaways, which is what we did for the first couple of months we lived here. We just lived off takeaways because there's quite a lot of vegan options around here. Vegan tapas is all right. But we were eating too many takeaways. And for me to cook after she gets home from work, but before I start streaming, I had to cook us both the same meal. I still try and minimize as much animal products as I can. Like, I still don't really have dairy. I'll still, if we get a takeaway or if we were to go out to eat anywhere, I'd probably go with the vegan option. Like, I still drink oat milk. I still don't eat animal products for my breakfast or my lunch. So I'm trying, but I can't be full vegan at the moment. If we can find some good alternatives that Anna can actually eat, then I'm well up for doing it. I enjoyed it. I could, if I lived on my own, I could be vegan forever quite easily. I didn't find it difficult at all. I really enjoyed the variety of food I was eating, all the delicious flavors. What's going on out there? Is that you? I'm yelling at Anna. Someone's banging around just outside my door. Do you ever think I'll be a mod in here? Oh, Beagles. One day. One day, maybe. We have to put it back another year because you just asked. But one day. One day, maybe. One day I can dream. You need to stop stealing all the best new gens. You get all the best name in the game players. I can't give you everything. Kev, thank you very much for the bits. Oh, we couldn't bring Andy Reid back on loan until the summer because we, yeah. I don't think anyone's broken in. If someone's broken in, bearing in mind my window's open and it's pretty clear which room has the stuff in. If someone's broken in and walked past my office to the rest of the house, there ain't much for them. Fair play to them. Don't know what they're going to nick. Anything of any value's in this room. And they've gone straight past it. Silly gooses. I had a bad new gen in Non-Need to Legend. Yeah, but you'll get a good one. You'll get a good one soon, I'm sure. Killed the fam. Well, then they're not a burglar, are they? They're murderers. And that's different. If there's murderers in the house, then I'll be a little bit more alarmed. But if it's just a burglar, all my stuff's in here. The only thing they can get that I wouldn't want them to get out there is my framed home away shirt from 2 years ago. It's the only one I've got left, which is framed and in the hallway. Because the day we moved in, I just put it up there. So I'm just going to put this here for a minute so it doesn't get broken. Never taken it down. Anna's never asked for it to be taken down. I am a genius. If they've walked by my office, they're not a very good burglar. Exactly. Or they're a really good burglar and they could see from outside that I'm in here and they could hear from the door that I'm in here. So they thought, you know what? Much as I love burgling, I don't want to have to fight a guy. Smells like there's a dog in there too. A filthy dog that needs a haircut. I'll avoid the big 6'2" lad and the dog, and I'll just rummage through the empty rest of the house. Because Anna and Andy are both on the top floor. They've got 2 floors to rummage through. They could steal my fancy American fridge and freezer. Which I'd be impressed if one burglar could get that down the stairs, because it took us 2 different delivery teams to actually get them up the stairs. We had to send the first one back because the delivery people refused to carry it up the stairs to our kitchen. Anna's an international spy. The house is safe. That's how I know it wasn't Anna out there before, because there's no way she'd make a noise going past the room. On the news tomorrow, YouTube star Kevin Chapman, LOLLUJO, murdered. I'm probably not going to get murdered. Who's going to murder me? What's in it for them? If they murder me, my passwords go with me. It'd be much more sensible to kidnap me and force my passwords out of me. If you want to commit a crime against me, kidnap me, torture me to get my passwords, and take my money. Don't murder me. What use is that going to... What's your benefit about murdering me? What's in it for you? Exactly, nothing's in it for you. There would be good views. I mean, this is all being streamed. If it happened live on stream, if it does ever, can we put this in as agreement now? If I do ever get murdered live on stream, which I actively discourage, so please don't murder me. But if I do, I'd like 5 gifted subs from everybody just to look after Anna. Unless she murders me. If she murders me, cancel your subs. There's a burglar out there taking notes right now. Being a burglar's no use. He needs to be a kidnapper / murderer. Oh, it's just a waste of space. That's her next contract. I mean, she's a spy. She's not an assassin. They're very different jobs. Better take the mugs upstairs. There's not actually that many mugs. I've been quite good with the mugs. I take them up at the end of every day. So again, it's just today's mugs. But the problem I've got is the cans are accumulating. Because I'm a monster. So I need to stop accumulating cans. Find the idea funny. We've just watched you get murdered and there's a sub train full of subs rolling in. You got to look after my family. I can't do it anymore. As a minimalist, it makes me so sad every time I see your desk. Do minimalists not drink then? It's not full of loads of possessions. It's just they're empty Coke cans. I think minimalists still have to hydrate. Get a recycling bin for my office, but the can crusher's upstairs. That's the big problem. Before I could just sling them all in the recycling bin from the garage pretty much, but now I have to take them upstairs to the can crusher. It's a whole thing. Because I can't just pile them up in the kitchen. I've got to stand there crushing them as well. That's why they're accumulating. So it's not just as simple as taking them up there. What is going on with that door? Anna, is that you? Are you murdering me, or is there actually a murderer here? Did you all just see that door open a little bit? I think she's watching and now she's messing with me. I'm now a little bit afraid. Hydrate. Posture check. Can we get a clip of what just happened and see if the door moved? I'm certain it did. Anna, stop messing with me. Oh, God. I'm quite afraid now. Get your credit cards ready just in case. Anna needs a screen mask. I would die. I would have a heart attack. That would be her murdering me on screen. Put your cards away. It's just a ghost. A ghost I'm comfortable with. What harm's a ghost going to do? They're just here for their unfinished business. I might put my chicken mask on. So if someone does burst in, they're freaked out more than I am. I'm just sat here wearing a chicken mask. I think if I was going murdering and I walked in on someone playing Football Manager wearing a chicken mask and half a suit, I think I'd probably just run away. I think that would be the perfect defense. If there's no vid tomorrow, Kev was murdered. My videos are scheduled for the next couple of days. If there's no video on Monday, then I was murdered today. It opened and closed. Ah! Ah! Dave's already in here as well. What is going on? Oh, it's going to freak me out watching the clip. I don't want to see it because it is going to freak me out. Dave, stop me. Dave just brushed against my leg. I am going to die on stream. I don't like it. I am freaking out. What's the shadow? That's Dave. Dave's right in front of the lamp. So he's casting a shadow. Oh, God. If you get the clip, can you tweet it at me rather than putting it in the chat? Because the chat's on the other PC. So let's have it on Twitter because then I can just get it straight off Twitter. Might be just as simple as a window open elsewhere in the house and there's a through draft. It probably is exactly that. It only happened after I opened this window, but I'm still like gonna poo myself probably. Soiling a perfectly good pair of trousers. Views have gone up because people are thinking I'm about to get murdered. You lot are hideous. Non-lead to bludgeoned. Oh, that is quality. I tweeted it to you. Right. Let's get on the right PC first. So, Twitter. I don't want to see this. It's going to make me a very unhappy man, I think. So, all eyes on the... Not just oh, God, the door really moved. What's going on with that door? Anna, is it? So, hold on, it's in the way now. It's hold on. So, we're focusing on the door here. I mean... It's not just as simple as taking him up there. What is going on with that door? Anna, is that you? I don't like it. I really don't like it. It's not just as simple as taking him up there. What is going on with that door? Anna, is that you? Oh, no. I might be about to get murdered on stream. Get some views in. Got to monetize my own death. You'd think less of me if I didn't. I have opened a window. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm like 80% sure it's a draft from the window, but there's still that 20% of me that is pretty sure there's now someone out there in a scream mask carrying a machete. And I don't want to go out there ever again. But to put the Twitch link. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. It's the clip takes you straight to Twitch, doesn't it? 20% of everyone is a terrified child. Exactly. So I just need to, Dave is looking at the window. Move. Right. We're going to protect. This is all protection now. We're going to protect me. We are. We're going to shut the window. This is so scary. We're battling down the hatches here. Ah! My can of Coke just spilled over my foot. Right. Door is properly shut, Dave. We're safe. Is there anyone out there? Dave, come back. You have to protect me. Here. Dave, come in here. Right. Dave's in to protect me. Coke spillage is on the floor. Okay. I don't like this. Right. The door is now properly shut. The window is shut. If that door opens now, it's because I'm going to be murdered. Oh. I'm sweaty. I'm a sweaty mess. Am I going to get mad? I don't think... the front door's locked. I'm sure of it. Dave, just sit there. Dave's on high alert. I like it. Dave's going to savage them. This is a weapon. Oh. Where's little Jack? Little Jack, protect me. I'm just going to sit here with little Jack. Oh, God. It moved again. It didn't. I'm going to need another clip as proof that it moved again. Sunderland are in the Prem. Are they, by golly? Your next door neighbours hear you back talking them earlier and now they're trying to get payback. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, wandering into someone's house breaks lockdown rules. They're probably well up for it. Just researched if they oppose a treat, you can hit them. Do you mean a threat rather than a threat? Okay. Repeat, you can hit them. So if I broadcast the threat now, if you enter my house and try and murder me, this is me officially threatening to hit you with my rhythm stick. This is my rhythm stick. Please don't do that. Oh God, I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid I can kill them. I don't know that I can. Do I look like a killer to you? Do I look Spanish to you? How would I have the first idea how to kill a man or woman? Could be a woman come to kill me. I don't think I could kill somebody. Oh, opinions on Ricardo Santos. He was good 5 years ago when he was at Posh. I liked him. He's tall. You know I like a tall defender. Oh yes, we'll postpone a match for international call-ups. It makes us look fancy. Postpone match, and then withdraw them all from the squad and get extra training in. We can do 45 minutes each and like it. See you, Kev/chat, please. No, I'm gonna try not to die. Steve Howie girl's out. That wouldn't surprise me if she was here to finish me off. She's heard me talking about her. If it was the same of your own life, I'm sure you could. If someone bursts through that door now, I'm going to be dead before I can turn around and defend myself. Takes me several minutes to get out of my chair. You just watched me ambling upwards before. I'm not a very fluent mover. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum bum. Bum. Oh, we're getting into the bumming now. Who's Steve Howie girl? Yeah, I want to know. She's in the LOLLUJO backstory. When I eventually get my Wikipedia page, there'll be a whole section on Steve Howie girl. Kev, we can't see the door. I mean, it's behind me. It's behind the football shirts are hung on the back of the door. Also got Madison at Bolton, but he slept in and missed a game. Doesn't surprise anybody. He just doesn't want to be a footballer. He just does it because he gets paid so much money. He just wants to earn enough money to open his tattoo shop, and then he'll never play football again. It's frustrating because he's so talented, but so disinterested in being a professional footballer. But just loves the fact that he can earn all this money doing it. But Dave Cam in the hallway has live footage of the murders. That's not a bad idea. Don't worry, check the new footage and it was just the wind moving the shirts. Yeah, because now the fan's on. Because I've got the window shut, I've turned the fan up. So that's going to be whipping those shirts around all over the place. I think the Steve Howie girl convo was a bit long ago to be on LOLLUJO Live. Probably. I don't know. I'm not going to sit for all the footage and try and find it. Just someone Kev once went on a date with who talked about Steve Howie a lot. Yes, that's exactly it. And the second part of the story is she then found me on a dating website. Or we were paired with each other on a dating website like 15 years later. And she immediately contacted my then ex-wife to tell her that I was on a dating website. Having not spoken to either of us in years. We all worked together at the same shop when we were teenagers. So we all we all did know each other. I mean, I knew both of them really quite well. Don't know how well they knew each other. We could have asked that at some point. We talked about it yesterday. We don't talk about it in enough detail. Right, come on. We need football goals. Lee Howie is better anyway. She'd murder you for that. She wouldn't stand for that. Oh, that's a beautiful finish from the one-armed swan. 28 goals for the season now for the one-armed Swan. What a man. What a player. What a man. What a Swan. Only got one arm, you know. We still constantly re-break his arm because 4 years ago he played better with a broken arm than without. It's the reason we signed Ruben Collins, just to snap his arm in training once a month, just to make sure he has to keep the cast on. He's offered to play with a cast without a broken arm. We're not having any of it. Kev also spoke about an ex he saw with a kid and thought it was his for a second. Yeah, that's a different girl. That we did talk about recently. Yeah, saw her for the first time in 20 years pushing a pushchair, and it was like, whoa, what? And then I realised, no, Kev, that was 20 years ago. That's probably not your baby. Well, it was because he did a cartwheel with a broken arm. It might have been that. I make up my own backstories half the time. Who knows if any of these girls I'm talking about are real? I believe my own hype too often. Who knows if half the stuff I say ever happened? I live in my own head. Kevy 5 kids. Oh, God. As far as I'm aware, that is not factually correct. But the more people keep referring to me as the richest man in FM, the more I'm worried one's going to come out of the woodwork. If you've made up Steve Howie girl, you're wasted on Twitch. I'm pretty sure she happened. What if Steve Howie girl was Mrs. Wearmouth? I mean, she's a teacher now as well, Steve Howie girl. She is a teacher who had loads of her students on her Facebook page last time I checked. So she'll be in prison one day, I imagine. For one thing or another. Bum, 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 bum. Current students, I don't know. I never worked at the same school as her. They just looked like lots of young boys on her profile. Probably she's a fan of Swiss football. Right, come on. We need a goal here. Thank you. I should ask for that more often. Someone comes to the door one day and says, Kev, are you my father? That's why I don't let people know where I live. Maybe she's doing a youth academy save. Maybe she is. Quality joke. I mean, sometimes you just get the top tier stuff. I usually say for YouTube. Just seen your 10 tips for younger self. Good video. Have you posted anywhere an update on Fit by 40? Not specifically. I've talked about it a little bit on stream. The update generally is there's not really much happening at the moment. I've not really lost anything. I've not gained anything. I'm sort of still following the rules I had before, but I really need to get to the gym, and I'm not going to make a video on it until I've got something exciting to post about it. So hopefully once the gym's open, or when I hit like a 3 stone loss or something, I'll make a video on it again. But it got old fast, I think. It was fun for the first couple of weeks. People were, and it was January, everyone was at it. But I think a lot of people have given up on their diet by now. So having me do a whole video about how I lost ½ a pound this week, and I've decided to start eating Weetabix. It's not interesting content. I am still eating Huel, not every day, because it does get a bit samey, but I am eating Huel a lot still. I like it. It's a nice, simple vegan breakfast and or lunch. Simple, simple, simple. Right, how many games have we got left? 6 games left. We play quickly, you never know. Hydrate. I like the new content on the other channel. Thank you. I think most people do. It's only a very, very small subsection of the audience who just want there to still be daily vlogs, even though they've not been there for 1.5 years. I'm walking every day, not lost a lot of weight. I mean, it's more about what you take in than what you do, isn't it? It's 80% what you eat, 20% what you do. So I'm still using my pedally thing all the time, like every day. I still get Gusto. Yeah, I love Gusto. Easy. The problem with putting a short update in a video is it will be really out of place. When I was editing together the one that I put out this week, I did think when I talked about valuing your health, I could have dropped a little update on it there, like 30 seconds, this is what's happened. But even then, I'm trying to make evergreen content now. The big shift that I'm making in the channel is I'm less focused on getting loads of views the day the video comes out and then people are ready for the next one. And it's less about getting that day to day, everyone's checking back in and watching, and more about creating searchable content that people are still going to be watching in a year or 2 years time and using to find the channel fresh. So me talking about a week of my diet 2 years ago, it's just going to be weird and out of place. So yeah, it doesn't really fit. Asking me about it on stream's the best place. If you want to know, if you want to discuss it, that's usually the best place for us to talk about absolute random nonsense. I started watching the other channel now since the new style of videos. Yay! Awesome. So I much prefer doing the more grown-up stuff. And those of you who've been around on the stream a lot will have noticed that a lot of the stuff I'm making the videos about has directly come off the back of conversations we've had here on Twitch. If we have a really interesting conversation that a lot of you seem to be engaged with, I use that as quite a good yardstick if that could make a video. We've talked quite a lot about education tonight, and people keep asking me to make a video about teaching. I might do that. Maybe at some point. All your channels are great, but you need one more to be Kevy 5 channels. Yeah, one day. Speaking of nonsense, how's the podcast coming along? Just plugging away as ever. Diet's no longer on my other channel. I mean, I've not taken the videos down, but I'm not going to be making regular videos on it. But I will make videos when I hit milestones. I'm just not going to do it every week because it, like I say, it gets boring fast. If you look at I think I did 3 or 4 diet videos in a row. And if you look at the view numbers on each of them, you can see people quickly losing interest in it, who were quite into the idea of it at the start, and very quickly numbers fell off. So that was enough to tell me, okay, you're doing too much of this stuff. Try a few other bits, and then you can come back to this when you can do the picture where you're holding your jeans out in front of you and there's 3 more people in there with you. As a 17, about to turn 18-year-old, your new content's really helpful for my near future. Awesome. Yeah, I think if I've managed to clickbait it right, which I don't know, I might do a new... The thumbnail I've used on the current video was good. I think that was good for my existing viewers because they get to see young me and click on it. I think I need a different thumbnail now for when it goes out to people who've never seen me before. But I think that's a really good video for anyone who's in their late teens, early 20s. It's got a lot of valuable life advice from an old man who's been there, done that, and actually has some valuable input. Do you think too much about the analytics? Maybe everyone thinks the same. You're just very transparent, but everything's very data driven. I mean, it is all about data, isn't it? How else do you know what's working and what's not? You've got to remember the people talking in the comments or in the chat are such a tiny proportion of the amount of people who are there. I mean, I've got over 100,000 subscribers on that channel, and maybe 30 people commented on the most recent video. The only thing I've got to really base decisions on is the data, because it's such a negligible number of people who actually comment, it's almost statistically irrelevant. Is Amy enjoying being back at school? She's not back until tomorrow. Her school's not back until tomorrow. Like you on comparing buying and renting, it was very helpful thinking about what I'm going to do in the next few years. Awesome. But do I let the data overshadow what I enjoy creating? No. Because I make Football Manager videos every day, and that's what I enjoy creating. I wouldn't ever make a video I didn't want to make because of data. But what I might do is not make a video that I might have enjoyed because I know it won't get views, so there's no point making it. Analytics works for Google and for Amazon. Analytics works for everyone apart from those who don't have analytics. Exactly. Really hard to find a part-time job right now with full-time school, as most shops are closed. Yeah. I mean, Amy's got one though. Amy started a paper round during the pandemic, so it is possible. It's work. So it is doable. You could do freelancey type stuff on the internet if you've got some skills. If you don't have any skills, you could sign up to Skillshare and learn some skills. There's ways to earn money. Sorry for the questions. Just find it very interesting talking to a content creator so transparent. That's what they call me. See-through Kev. It's an industry I've no knowledge about. It's an industry I've studied extensively for many years. So yeah, I'm happy to share the knowledge. Now Aaron's working, you don't have to work flat out all the time. You've earned a bit more of a balance. If no more daily, weekly vlog is part of that, then fine by me. Exactly. That's the thing people don't seem to realise as well. Anna earns more money than the vlog ever earned. So if I had to knock that channel on the head entirely, we'd be better off as a family because that channel never paid a lot of money. So I don't want to because I enjoy making the content I want to make. So I think people think it bothers me. Like the current video's only got about 6,000 views so far. And people were trying to make that of a point. See, you're wrong, Kev. This video has only got about 6,000 views. And my response to that is, firstly, I don't care. I enjoyed making the video, and that channel is not about making us money. I'll make more from the Twitch sponsorship well, I'm doing 2 Twitch sponsorships this month. I make more money out of my NordVPN sponsorship that I'll make on the vlog channel this month. We're doing another sponsorship. That'll pay me more than I'll make on the vlog channel this month. Anna earns more than I'll make on the vlog channel this month. None of that really matters. But what people don't realise as well is when we were doing the daily vlog, most of them were only getting about 5,000 views a video as well. It's not Raid again, no. It's something similar though. Don't download any mobile games for the next week or two until I tell you which one to download. Better to focus on FM vids and the other channel whenever. Exactly. I put in a video like a year ago the Ron Swanson quote where he says, don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. And that's been the big change I've made to my business in the last year. Rather than trying to do 2 things and struggling to get them both done to the level I want, I decided to really focus in on the Football Manager stuff, knock the vlog on the head. And since then, if anyone's been watching my Football Manager chat stuff for a long time, you'll know the last year I've made so much more progress in the last year than I have ever done before. If you look back at where my content was a year ago, we're worlds apart in 1 year because I've just spent the entire year focusing completely on this. If it's evergreen content though, from a more targeted audience, it might make more money long term. Yeah, maybe. That's the big bonus of it. You never know which one's going to take off or when it will take off. That buying versus renting video, if that becomes a big hot topic issue in the media, and I've got a video there that's got solid SEO linking it to where it needs to be linked, that video could explode in a year's time because that suddenly becomes a hot issue to talk about. I wonder what the new sponsor is. Just don't download any mobile games for a little while. I was shocked at how relatively poor your stuff from a couple of years ago is. Yeah, that's because I didn't have time to take stock. I was literally, if you've seen the what I've made on YouTube video or whatever clickbaity name I gave it. Oh, hydrate. You've seen the hours I was putting in a year or 2 ago. I didn't have time to actually think about whether what I was doing was any good. I just kept grinding and churning out the same old thing, which was great for the algorithm. It was like stoking the fire constantly. It allowed the channel to grow. But I've grown more in the last year from focusing on quality, less on quantity, even though we've still churned out the quantity as well, because I'm not doing 3 videos a day. Because that's the thing. When I was daily vlogging, I'm doing 2 YouTube videos a day and streaming every day. That's 3 videos and a stream every day. I don't know how I did it. But now it's all about making sure it's good. Kev didn't say evening to me. I might go and leave a horrible comment about it on social media. Barry, good evening. I didn't see you arrive. I am mortified at my poor manners. Good evening to you. Hydrate. I thought I'd already hydrated. I think I did. We'll do the posture check though. How can I lose my personal phone but still know where my work is? Magic. Would you still think about Comic-Con vids when you can go to them? I will almost certainly still make Comic-Con videos, purely because that allows me to get into Comic-Con for free and then charge the hotel and the travel to the business if I'm there making a video. If it's a work trip, especially if I'm speaking at the... actually, it might be different if they've got me there as a speaker, because then I'm working that way. I don't necessarily need to vlog it. It'll perhaps just be one video about the weekend rather than 3 or 4 vlogs over the course of the weekend like it has been in the past. But yeah, if I'm at an event, if I've had to travel to get there, if I've had to buy a hotel, you can be damn sure I'm making a video about it, because then it's a business trip. Did I hear about Piers Morgan? I mean, I don't care about Piers Morgan. Buy a hotel, you only have to rent a room. That's where I'm going wrong. I mean, to be fair, it's done me well long term. I learned everything I know about business from playing Monopoly. So it's all about accumulating hotels. I own dozens of them now. Am I doing it wrong? Missing Pab in the background of Comic-Con. So do I. There are dates for London Comic-Con and Birmingham Comic-Con this year announced. So we've sort of tentatively got a plan for Comic-Con. If it happens in October, which obviously is a big if, but we are going to get a big Airbnb, not a big, like a 3 or 4 bed Airbnb together and have our little trip away with Pab and Sheepdog. Won't be like the good old days. Reckon we'll finish the season this stream. It's a possibility. I won't make any wild promises though, but it is a possibility. Depends if Anna tells me to shut up at 10 o'clock, which she didn't last night. Apparently she didn't hear me at all last night. I don't know how I was so much quieter. Pab loves a pun. If anyone ever visits his streams, you should visit Pab's streams. If you want a variety streamer, Pab is your man. He's only been streaming throughout. I think he started streaming towards the start of lockdown, so he's only been doing it about a year. He's had some decent growth. I would love it if Pab got to become a full-time streamer, because it would just wind Sheepdog up if both me and Pab were doing it. That's my main goal. I want Pab to succeed in life to annoy Sheepdog. How many Manager of the Month awards have I won this season? Loads, I think. I haven't actually looked. A few. September, November, January, February. We're doing all right. Has Anna recovered from her night? So, yeah, she's back at work now. She does like 80 hours across 7 consecutive nights and then has a week off to recover, and then she's back on normal shifts for the next month and a half or so, and then the cycle starts again. She'll do another week of nights, week off, bunch of normal shifts, and it just rotates around like that. It's quite a good system. If you have to work nights, I think that's the way to do it. Found my personal phone in the bathroom. I mean, that should have been the first place you looked, really. That's where mine always is. Pab is a good streamer. Oh, there you go. I was just going to say, can we have a shout out to Pab? We've already done one. Follow Pab here for when he streams daily. He does stream daily. What does she do? 80-hour weeks. I mean, she does one 80-hour week every 2 months. where she does 7 consecutive 12-hour nights, which works out about 80 hours, I think. If my maths is right. But then she gets a week off. So it averages out at 2 40-hour weeks. It just... that way they're not constantly swapping in and off of nights. Sarko Pal, thank you very much for the sub. AEW wrestler Sting is appearing at Telford Comic Con in November. I'll believe it when I see it. How's Anna's finger? She's fine now. Have I seen any Pokemon Go YouTube videos or streams? I don't think so. I can't imagine I'd be interested in that. It's a fun game, but I don't watch a lot of gaming content. Yeah, only Sheepdog did a stream at the weekend. I trolled for a bit. But apart from that, no, we are going to bottle this. We had that great run where we looked like we might go up automatically, but we beat Air and Wraith, and now it's all going wrong. Path are beating us now. Can't let Path beat us. Come on, boys. We're going to go attack him. Dante Casanova with the big hurl. Ah, rubbish. Rubbish. Come on now. I've not been murdered yet, by the way. If anyone's keeping track, I am still alive, which is nice. Not great for the subs. We would have smashed through 800 subs, I reckon, if I had been murdered. That guy is called Dick. Nothing to say about that, really. Casanova's having a tussle with Dick over on that side. Right. Come on, Dante Casanova. Oh, he's aimed for the one-armed swan. But he's beaten by Dick. Such a child. Such a child, but you know. Right, Casanova again. He is taking every set piece, as is his wont. But it's not getting us anywhere. Come on, boys. Let's encourage now. We might have to go to 2 up top. If in doubt, stick another striker on. It's the Chapman way. Right. Here we go. Second striker. We're going with the old faithful of and the one-armed swan. These two do not play together very often anymore, but they tore up the Welsh League together. Andy Reid, the little fat moron, knows how to get the best out of them as well. And then we're going to bring on Scott Robinson in midfield. Robertson, not Robinson. It's the same. They're basically the same name. I don't know why both those names need to exist. Come on. Casanova again. Looking to hurl one into the area. Oh, nearly. Right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The one-armed swan is in. Oh, the one-armed swan. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful stuff from the one-armed swan. Look at this for a finish. So confident. What a man. What a man. What a swan. We're now encouraging. That does put us back to the top of the league as well. We're going to stay attacking. We're going to stay encouraging. We want the win. Come on, boys. Oh, just straight down Dick again. Oh, Kev, your puns are weak. You don't know how to do rude puns because you wouldn't do them on YouTube. My rude pun game is pathetic. If he was called Trouser, I'd be all over it. We might change his name to Trouser. Oh, rubbish. Dick and the one-armed swan. Yeah. Come on. Very attacking now. We've got to get back into this game. Get forward, boys. Here we go then. Good tackle, Dick. Oh my word. Right, here we go. Casanova. Lumping it towards the one-armed swan, but now we have no defence, which is a bit of a problem. Someone needs to get a tackle in here. Oh dear. Promotion is slipping away, slipping through our fingers. Ah. Come on, boys. Everyone's sad now. Greg, deal with him. Right, 4 more games. We've got to play Air again, who are top of the league. So actually, all is not lost. We still have to play Air. We'll be all right. Wraith can bite me. Right, here's your title run in. So Air have got to play us and Wraith. We've got to play Air. Wraith have got to play Partick Thistle and Air. Partick Thistle have got to play Wraith. So Partick Thistle are further back. I would say based on those fixtures, we're still favourites. If we lose this next game, we're going to end the stream there so that we can start tomorrow night with the Air game, hopefully in better form. If we win, we'll finish the season tonight. But I think we're ending the stream on our next defeat so that I can regroup, reset the random number generator, and try again tomorrow night. That's the plan. Oh, Burnley are going up. Congratulations. Bub, 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 bub. Bong. Do, 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 do. Right. Praise their training. Well done. Good training. 1 goes up as champions, then it's playoffs. Right. Morton are rock bottom. We should absolutely thump this lot. Seen a lot of Big Johnson on into legend. Now we've seen the lesser spotted Dick appear. Wow. 1 automatic, 1 maybe goes up. Yeah, because it's the silly relegation playoff thing as well, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean. Right. Come on. I don't think I'm going to get a copyright strike for me singing the Mario song. I'm not that good a singer. Maybe we should get this man band up and running after all if I'm that good of a singer. Right, let's have a goal here, shall we? Thank you. Brilliant. I should ask more often. How did you get the best out of Bandera at home? It was awful for me, then flounced out of the club. Just played him a lot, usually as a playmaker. So that's the thing, really. You just got the same way you get the best out of all youth players, just play them a lot. I'm dipping my finger in this pooey toilet again, and it's just sticky. I don't like it. Yeah. Right, oh look, they're trying the long throw exploit as well now. It didn't work because they forgot to throw it long. The silly goose. Right, come on, boys. Should we do another goal? We'd like another goal. Come on, one-armed swan. Oh, I see. Like that, is it? I see. If we got a score from the corner. There's cones behind that goal. What are the cones for? And how much did FMFC pay for that advert at another club's ground? Sign up for FMFC. You've not told me how. Why isn't do a goal an emoji? Because no one's made it for me. I can't make my own emojis. I have no artistic ability. So if you want an emoji, you have to make it. Kev saying Morton weird. We say it like Mortin. Yeah, but Scottish people say everything weird, don't they? Compared to me, because they tend to say things in a Scottish accent. Whereas I'm going to say it in an English accent. There's no way it's Mortin. I used to live near somewhere called Morton. Mortimer. Is the Queen a tinner? We're not allowed to talk about the Queen. Is the Queen a tunner? I don't think she's a tunner. She might be a tinner, though. It doesn't make Trumpy noises. I think my slime's broken and I've got sticky fingers. Ugh. 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 If people want to see the real Morton, i.e. not the one in Scotland, I did a vlog from there. There's a shop called New Day that I post outside of, and it's where Andy used a phone box for the only time in his life, because we found a phone box that still had a phone in, which is a rare thing. I rang it from my phone and he went and answered it. So if you've ever seen that vlog, that was in a place called Morton. We don't really say the T. What's so Morin? I mean, we have a word that sounds a bit like that here in England. We use it to describe sheepdog. King's Lynn have just lost. Very sad. You've seen Alfie Payne's gone back to King's Lynn. Exciting times. You can ring a phone box. What you can only call out. No, if you look in the phone box, they have their actual phone number on. So you can find the number and ring it. Didn't know they still existed. I mean, I've not seen one that's had a phone in for a long time. Most of the ones round my way, or I say my way, my old way, I've not seen one at all around here. But near where I used to live, they were all defibrillators now. We just conceded a goal. So in an English accent, that sounds called moron. Apparently, yeah. Oh dear. Come on, boys. Morton are bottom of the league. We can't lose against this shower. Although Ayr are losing 2-0 against Cove Rangers. So actually, as it stands, we're top of the league again. Which is absurd, really, when we're bottling as spectacularly as we are. No one wants to win the league. Yeah, do I want the fat moron, or do I want... I mean, I'm always going to go for a fat moron in that situation. We're talking about him. Come on. Do a football. Here we go, 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 here we go. Ho-hoy! Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yeah, is that not something that's happened across the country? Phone boxes have had the phones replaced with defibrillators. The other thing I've seen, certainly around London, cash machines in phone boxes, which is cool. I like that. Have I not been murdered yet? I haven't. Do you remember for that period in the noughties where they upgraded all the phone boxes so that you could go on the internet and send email from them? What a waste of money that was. They didn't last long, did they? Someone didn't look ahead at where the technology was going. I tend to not look in the phone boxes. You're not living. You're not living. You gotta look in phone boxes. Bearing in mind, I grew up before the internet, so you had to look in phone boxes because it was one of the only places you could see boobies because we didn't have the internet. So if you wanted to see boobies, you had to go and check the phone boxes. In my town, they appeared to turn them into toilets. Nice. Underwear section of the catalogue, obviously. Obviously, you'd have the underwear section of the catalogue. A lot in Devon are book swap places. Nice. I like the fact they're all being repurposed. Last time I went to a phone box, there were drugs. I'm assuming that's drugs, not drogs, because I don't know what a drog is. If you don't look in phone boxes, where do you get your prostitutes? Exactly. Exactly. This latest generation, these young'uns, these Gen Zers, they don't know they're born. Right, the Guinness Walker needs a rest. Come on, Nesta, go on holiday. Where are you? There's only 3 games left. You can have a 2-week holiday. I want you coming back strong for that last game. In my town, they never turned them into toilets. It just became the more common use for them. Yeah, they weren't formally turned into toilets, but they do stink of urine. The only time I used a phone box was when my brother-in-law had a mobile and I didn't, to ring him in a pub to come out and get me in past the bouncers. Nice. What, you knew his phone number? That's impressive work. There you go, we have a youth intake. It's a bunch of trash. His name is backwards and a little bit made up. Gardner Imrie. That's not a name, Gardner. Gardner's your surname. Your that second word there, made up. Entirely made up. Have I listened to the Peter Crouch podcast? I haven't. You need prostitutes when you've got Tinder. Nice. Never even downloaded Tinder. Never needed it. I don't think it existed when I was single. And it's generally frowned upon for... But I don't think Anna would be a fan of me downloading it to have a look at it. So there's a whole cultural thing there that I've missed out of. Don't know how it works. We'll never know how it works. Kev definitely prefers Grindr. I mean, I've used them both equally. I've used Grindr as much as I've used Tinder. The Lollipop Man used to stand in the phone box on rainy days. But now it's gone. He just stands in the rain. Nice. I mean... I knew you were clipping it. I looked down the lens deliberately so you could clip it. I'm not afraid of you clipping it. It's a true fact. Goodness me. Back in my day, you had to pick girls out of a catalogue. None of this mobile phone app. Been with my wife 13 plus years since we were 17. Had no need for this online dating like. In fact, any proper dating would be useless if we got divorced. Yeah, I've never been on a date. We talk about this quite a lot. I've never been on a date in my life. Wouldn't know what to do. Probably just be celibate if Anna dies or walks out. Just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm getting old. Just hang out near phone boxes. Bum 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 bum. Terrell Whitaker's sad. Give him a lovely old tickle. There you go, he loves being tickled. Da, 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 da. New stream title: Divorced Man plays FM in boxers and stained vest. I mean, the only part of that doesn't... In fact, that is all true. I am a divorced man. I'm a divorced man. I do play FM in my boxers. I don't wear a stained vest, but every t-shirt I own is stained. I don't own a vest. So yeah, I mean, that describes me perfectly. Me and Anna are not married, so I am legally, officially still a divorced man. So yeah, that's completely accurate. Have I done a save this year where I haven't signed Terrell Whitaker? I didn't sign him for Leicester. Or the Isle of Man. So 2 saves. Or Posh. Or the Twitch version. Or I didn't sign him for either Posh version, but he signed for Kettering in that save. So yeah, 3 saves I've done where I've not signed Terrell Whitaker. He's only been in half my saves. He is probably my most signed player this year, though. And considering I've had him in previous years as well, Terrell Whitaker might be up there with the likes of Martel Taylor-Crossdale as one of my most signed players ever by now. Just can't resist that smile. Right, we are playing against Air. This is the big one. This is important. Let's go do a football. We win this, we win the league. Come on, boys. We've already beaten them once. We smashed them last time we played them. Let's smash them again. Who are Wraith playing? Wraith are playing Morton. So Wraith are probably going to win. So Wraith could end up top of the league off the back of all this. We just need to beat Air. Come on. How hard can it be beating Air? So Kev can legally download Tinder. He's not married. I don't think it's illegal to download Tinder if you are married. Terrell was a key player in my FM20 save. I think he scored in every division between the National League and the Prem. Nice. He's probably done that in my home save this year. It's just he's never really been a regular starter whilst doing it. And he's certainly never had the opportunity to play up front. Right, what's going on in the Wraith game? I've got to decide if we need to push for a win here or if we're going to be happy with the draw. Casanova causing problems with his long throw again because he's a wonderful, wonderful man. Ah! How many games does this league have? We've got 2 more to play after this one. Right, Whittaker out to Babangida. This is the goal. I can taste it. I can taste it. Oh, it's over. The YouTuber paid £8,000 for a custom 24-karat gold plate at PS5. What a waste. I mean, it's only a waste if that video doesn't get views, and the fact you're telling me about it suggests it went viral and he probably made more than 8 grand on the video. A lot of these videos that seem like spectacular wastes of money are actually hugely profitable. When Mr. Beast gives away 10 grand, he's making 200 grand on the video where he gives the 10 grand away. Right, the one-armed swan is in here. Oh, what a man! The one-armed swan. Business expense. Yeah, but I mean, obviously, what people sometimes forget is business expenses still cost you money. It just reduces the amount of tax you pay, but it still comes out of your income. You can't just buy whatever you want and call it a business expense. You still have to turn a profit on it. Have I seen Linus's solid... I don't know who Linus is. That video got 1 million views. Yeah, 1 million views is like... You'd make 15 grand on a 1 million view video. Probably. If you put enough mid-rolls in. I'd expect at least 10 grand on a 1 million view video. Unless it was on my vlog channel. In which case it would be demonetized and I'd get 3 million views on it and barely make a grand. Linus Tech Tips. Don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? I get my tech tips from Nerdphonic. By the way, Anna had on her her time hop today. 4 years ago today was the first time I met another YouTuber. It's 4 years ago today that we did car park tech support with Nerdphonic, known as One True Nerd at the time. We have a baby Nerdphonic in a video from 4 years ago today, fixing my laptop in PC World Car Park. The first time I met another YouTuber. And now here we are, 2 of the most handsome men on Twitch. Who knew? That goal probably shouldn't have gone in. That would have been... That's a bit of a shame that we've conceded there. I still think we've got a good chance of winning the league as long as they don't score again. But it is a shame that we've just conceded. We've got a better goal difference than Wraith, but I think we're going to drop below them on point. So I don't think the point's updated. He's so anti-Kev during the showdown. It's all play, isn't it? Me and Matt go back longer than me and anyone else in the community. And remember, this is the guy who's been to... He's been in this house twice. I've lived here 6 months. He's been here twice during a pandemic. He might be anti-Kev on the lowdown, but he loves a bit of Kev, that boy. He has been under my desk multiple times. He's spoken about it. Before he gets sponsored, they pay the money he gives away, so views is all profit for him. Okay. Can I check Sunderland? Not really, because it's 5 to 10 and we've got 2 more games to play. So we're just going to get the season finished. Otherwise, I'd be showing you that video and everything, but we're on the clock. Anna's going to tell me to shut up at 10 o'clock. So we're not going to be able to celebrate winning the league if it happens after 10. So we might leave you hanging with 1 game to play. We've got to play Queen's Park. We've got to beat them. They're down in 9th place. This has to be a win. Then who do we play on the last day? We need that to tick over. Livingston away on the last day, who are mid-table. We could have it wrapped up by then. If results go our way, we could win the league here. Right. Use suggested squad. We're rallying the troops. This is good. Sure she won't mind a small extension. Have you met Anna? You probably haven't. Have you seen Anna on stream? She doesn't allow for that kind of thing. I have to be quiet because Andy's in bed, and Andy will be in bed at 10 o'clock because that's the time Andy goes to bed, not a minute before, not a minute after. That's not us enforcing that rule. That's his bedtime. Oldest team in Scotland. We'll see about that. Only time I've met Anna was during Giant Jenga in Nottingham. There you go. Did she play that? I feel like she wasn't there very long for the Jenga. She'd been out doing her own thing, I think, in Nottingham that day. I don't think she was at the event properly. She came in just in time to get some sausage at the barbecue place across the road. She didn't play, but she popped in. That sounds about right. Why am I just sitting here looking at the team sheet? Let's go do a football. Come on. Casanova. There's your first goal, boys and girls. Beautiful stuff. Why do women always want sausage? Red Dog Saloon do a good sausage. Boom. Boom. Clyde 1, Q Park 0. Wraith, we've got the wrong results on at the moment. Where's the crown? It's being rested at the moment. I don't want to be associated with the royal family currently. No politics. Racists. Where were we? What? No politics. 2-0 up. We need to get the correct latest scores on. Scotland Championship. It's Wraith against Ayr now. Woo! This is tasty. What result do we want in that game? Is there a combination of results here that win us the league? Wraith were level on points with us. So do we want Ayr to beat Wraith? Ideally, we want a draw, don't we? We won't win the league today with a draw, but we'll go a long way towards doing it. What time am I on till? We're going to finish this season. We've got a game and a half left. It is... Why does it keep reverting back to League One? What is going on? I want to know the score of the other game. I think Wraith are winning based on the league table. But it keeps reverting back to the wrong scores. Raid Ben at the end, because he will need the viewers, won't he? Is he even playing Football Manager, or is he playing his little youth game? Right, Wraith are beating Ayr at the moment. Yeah, if he's not playing FM, he's not getting the raid. He knows the rules. I'll raid someone playing Football Manager who needs the views. He's the one person who really doesn't need a raid. Bum, 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 bum. Can we raid Dave again? No, not unless he's had a Frey Bentos pie in the last 24 hours. Yeah, okay, Zealand also doesn't need a raid. The rest of us, we love a raid, but them two, they're all right on their own. They don't need raids ever. Right, we're going to make that change. Right, let's have one more goal here. Why is Babangida taking the corner? He's a 6'4" centre back. Feel like he should probably be in the middle there for the corners being delivered into the box. The one-armed swan. Oh, it's disallowed. I'll have a look to see who's on when we finish the stream. We won't make a decision now. But a lot of people finish around 10. 10's quite a popular finishing time, so if we get to 5 past 10 past 10, it might be a whole different batch of people who are playing anyway. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, Terrell Whitaker. What a shot. Come on, boys. We're nearly there. We've nearly made it to the promised land. This will be back-to-back promotions if we pull this off. And Clyde will be in the Scottish Premiership. And hopefully we'll be able to get a job at Aberdeen or somewhere where we actually have a chance of winning the Scottish Premiership. Because it will take us years to win the Premiership with this lot. We're not going to win the Premiership with Terrell Whitaker in the side. That's for sure. As much as I love him, I don't think he's ready for the Champions League. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, I won't actually get to choose who we end up managing. We'll have to see what jobs are available. We might even do a season up there with Clyde and see how we get on. We're not going to force through a move just for the sake of it. Right, we're getting on. We're going to save the one-arm swan for the last day of the season. Wraith are now winning 2-0 against Air. Air are out of it as things stand. They were top of the table for a long time. It's going to go into that last day of the season with us and Wraith level on 71 points as things stand. We've got the better goal difference, so we just need to equal whatever they do on the last day. If they lose, we can lose. I don't know who they're playing. We're playing Livingston. Hopefully they're playing someone really difficult away from home. We've got one of the trickier away games. Is that the Murderer or is that Anna? Don't come in with a hood on. Oh my word. Have you not seen Twitter? I'm afraid of being murderized and you come in with a hood on. Because I'll show you the clip. Hold on. I know we're supposed to be ending the stream shortly, but I'll show you this clip. Right. Watch this clip. Just click on it properly so you can see it a bit bigger. Hold on, it's loaded up there. So, are you watching? Watch the door in this clip. So it's not just as simple as taking them up there. What is going on with that door?
Why is it only like...
I don't know, I think someone was coming to murder me. So we've locked down in here. I was smack talking the neighbours and all of a sudden the door opens. Oh, he was already in here. He didn't like it at all. Yeah, so I didn't die. But I did think you were coming in to kill me just now.
I went to find him night and he was asleep watching
Nice. There you go. The benefits of not having to watch the movie with him.
I've come down to play PlayStation. Bed.
Oh, don't have it on the internet. It'll kill the stream. I've got one more game, then I'm ending my stream. Go offline immediately when you turn it on. Okay, that's right then. Posture check. Anna, I think this is a posture check for you as well. You're in the room. Shoulders back, boobs out. Posture check. Posture check.
How am I doing that?
Because someone's just cashed in 500 points. There you go. Posture is all good.
Like this.
No, you just have to stretch once and you can go back to slouching.
Everybody, you want a cuddly, the most nicest thing ever. I live in mine. So soft.
Hydration. Beautiful. Right, Anna.
Kevin.
Toodle pip. Final game of the season and all that. There's pressure on. We need to be focused.
I'm lovely.
I'm glad. I'm too hot because I've had to close the window because I thought a murderer was coming for me. So I am sweating. There's always wind about around here. Right then. Final game of the season. We have a prediction going by the looks of it. Are we going to the Premiership or have we got the playoffs tomorrow night? So we're not going to do the playoffs tonight. This is definitely the last game of the stream. We'll either end the stream a Premiership side or we'll be having the playoffs at the start of tomorrow night's stream. Oh, Livingston are now down to 6th. Have we looked at who Wraith are playing? We haven't, have we? I'm not resting him for a week at this stage of the season. He can have 2 days off training. He'll be fine. So, Wraith are away against Q Park. So, Wraith are going to win. How am I doing on my coaching license? We've been doing all right. I think we're doing one at the moment. That's not how you check. Yeah, I'm currently studying for my Continental A license. CLYDE have put me through a lot of licenses. They're good. Am I getting a CLYDE shirt? Probably not. I didn't get a Nestle shirt. But I'll give away an Arsenal shirt this week. Now I've finished that series. Get that gone. Before I use it to clean my car. Most expensive rag ever. A £65 car washing rag. How are the predictions going? Do you think we're winning the league? Let's give it to the bin, only used for an Arsenal shirt. Well, I figured someone will give it a good home. Come on, boys! Ah, now. All right, Russell. Manager of the month, Russell. He's got the manager of the month curse. He's got the manager of the month curse. That's perfect timing. Right, we're not doing new contracts until we know what league we're going to be in. That's madness. Right. Here we go then. Everyone breathe. Everyone stay calm. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a moment. Put the crown on at the ready. We might need it. This time last year we were winning League One. Can we make it? Back-to-back titles. All we need to do is win a football match. We're good at doing that. Come on now. Come on. Ah! Number 5, Terrell Thomas. He's even wearing the number 5.
Love the content, Kev.
Educated Basher, thank you very much. But we've just had the dirty done on us by number 5, Terrell Thomas.
You and me stuck on the ocean now. Nothing but waves and us filling in.
Come on.
But you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here.
Come on, boys. We have to make it hard for ourselves so we can play the song.
And find the way back to
What a goal! Anna's gonna kill me. I made too much noise there. That was worth it. His first ever goal for us. That stayed it. We've still got to score again. Rafe are ahead in their game. We can turn this ship around. Come on! Come on! Hold on. We've got a knock. Andy Reid, the little fat moron's coming on. We're going attacking for the second half. Pump those fists. Come on! Wraith are now drawing. Queen's Park have equalised against Wraith. Oh. Oh, can we backdoor Kev it? That would be spectacular. Oh, that's terrible defending. That is the worst defending I've ever seen.
I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I want to pay, and it's not too late.
Might be too late. It's the through ball from number 5, Terrell Thomas. Oh my word. I feel a bit sick. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around. I believe in you.
And I just feel that this will be an upswing.
Our keeper's not even that tall. But still. Come on, boys. More. Turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around. Hold on. We haven't got the song on repeat. That would never do. Dante Casanova with a long throw. Oh, 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 oh. Whew. Come on. Encourage. What's going on in the Wraith game? Wraith are now winning again. It's not going to happen, is it? Oh, it's not going to happen.
I don't even know how we got here. All my reasoning have disappeared. I want to bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I want to pay.
And it's not too late. It might be too late. That I need.
I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares.
We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around. Is on. Don't know what just happened there. That was a weird thing. Come on, boys. We've got to grab a goal here. Oh, we've left him in a lot of space. Luckily, rubbish. Right, come on, boys. We'll have a goal here. We believe. We can turn this ship around. Come on. Come on. We've got a lot of heroes from the TNS victory years before. 2 years ago, several of these players were involved in a miracle last day of the season. Why? Why would that happen twice in the same game?
Turn around 180 degrees and cross the sea.
Come on, boys.
Not let us fade away. It's not a price I want to pay, and it's not.
It might be too late. Is it too late? All that I need. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around. I believe in me. I believe in you.
And I just feel that this will be an upswing. So hear me out. You know we lost our
15 minutes. Come on. Come on. Who's injured? Andy Reid, the little fat moron. Okay. We can turn this ship around. I don't think it's happening this time. We've tried our luck doing this before.
You and me stuck on the ocean now. Nothing but waves in this filling in. I wanna dry up, but you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here. All my reasoning have disappeared. I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home.
We gave it everything.
We don't have to drift inside this dome. I will not let us fade away. It's not a price I wanna pay.
He broke his fat little ribs, bless him.
No, we lost our purpose.
Oh dear. He ate too many pies and broke his ribs. Oh dear. Well, playoffs tomorrow then, boys and girls. It's not a bottle job when you're a newly promoted side. I won't have it. Right, who are we going to raid? Let's have a little look. I'm so sad now. We are going to raid. We are going to raid Omega Luke. I think he's still pushing for partner, isn't he? So he needs the views. So hang around. Make sure you follow him if you don't already. Help him get to partner, because being a Twitch partner makes you cool. And I want Omega Luke to be cool. So at the moment, I mean, he wrestles for fun. He needs cool points. I'll see you back here tomorrow night, boys and girls. The season is not over. We can still keep this going with the playoffs. We can turn this ship around. Thank you for watching, folks. Toodle pip.
Thank you for the raid, mate. I've always preferred Kev.